Armchair Quarterback Show. Please like and subscribe today. YouTube.com, Armchair Quarterbacks 1. Home of Braves Country Baseball, Tuesday and Friday nights, along with pop-up shows and the Armchair Quarterbacks Show, which airs live Saturday morning. YouTube.com, Armchair Quarterbacks 1. Armchair Quarterback Show is back Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. 3-hour wake-up show that'll cover it all: college football, the NFL, fantasy football, and Major League Baseball. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday morning, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
It's important to remember the value of taking time for ourselves to do the things that help us grow and explore, like learning something new. And now with the Great Courses Plus, it's never been easier to experience the joys of learning. Great Courses Plus offers thousands of streaming videos that cover hundreds of fascinating topics, from World War II to choosing the perfect wine. You can even take a course on the U.S. government or dealing with stress and anxiety. And because the Great Courses Plus partners with world-class professors and experts, you're always receiving thoroughly vetted, high-quality content from every lecture. Plus, you can watch or listen anytime, anywhere with the Great Courses Plus app. So take a little time for you. Sign up for the Great Courses Plus today for a free month of unlimited access. Visit thegreatcoursesplus.com/radio to get started. That's thegreatcoursesplus.com/radio.
I think my jersey was one of the top-selling jerseys around the world. It was like Kobe, LeBron, and then I was right behind them, and I didn't make $1 from it. But nor did I want to, because I knew going into college what it was all about. I knew going to my dream school where I wanted to go, the passion for it. And if I could support my team, support my college, support my university, that's what it's all about. But now we're changing it from us, from my university, from being an alumni where I care, which makes college football and college sports special, to then, okay, it's not about us, it's not about we, it's just about me. And yes, I know we live in a selfish culture where it's all about us, but we're just adding and piling on to that. We're changing what's special about college football. We turn it into the NFL, where who has the most money, that's where you go. That's why people are more passionate about college sports than they are about NFL. That's why the stadiums are bigger in college than they are in the NFL, because it's about your team, it's about your university, it's about where my family wanted to go, and you're taking that away so the young kids can earn $1. And that's just not where I feel like college football needs to go. I'm
Tom is a teacher for 40 years. I think one of the students that asked the question, I think the answer. I also was studying his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I really started wondering. So I talked about college for lives.
It's a base that follows our stories to learn more.
I'm Amy Lori, and I'm up late, always after hours hanging out with you on CBS Sports Radio. Check it out, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific.
Armchair Quarterback Show for its 9th season. This year, we're doing it all in one show. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. We'll be talking college football, the SEC, the Big Ten, other big games of the day. We'll be diving into the National Football League, focusing on the Southern football teams in all the big matchups throughout the land. Doing it while covering the point spreads, the over-unders, prop bets for fantasy football. We'll tell you who to start and who to sit, and everybody's favorite, the stupid underdog picks. We'll cover Major League Baseball all the way through October and beyond. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
The beer that brought the forest down. I drive an exotic imported sports car. I eat exotic foreign food like frankfurters and pizza. But
when it comes to numbing my mind, I'm a patriot. I drink the beer that brought the forest down. I'm a lager man. And with the new 80 bottle trunk pack, you've got enough for the evening. Hey, it's happy hour somewhere. Lager brings out the patriot in you.
Hey, Braves fans, Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel are bringing you Braves baseball all season long. Hi, I'm Matt McGee. I'll be bringing you Braves baseball play-by-play for the Braves fans out there. They're all in Braves country. Pull up an armchair. Join us for Braves country baseball. First pitch to last pitch, Tuesday and Friday nights, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. You're listening to Braves Country Baseball. Please like and subscribe today. YouTube.com, Armchair Quarterbacks 1. Hey, football fans. The Armchair Quarterback Show is back. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. A 3-hour wake-up show that'll cover it all. College football, the NFL, fantasy football, and Major League Baseball. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday morning, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
Enjoy some drink stays, epic stays, and plenty of room to roam in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Our hotels, attractions, and restaurants have taken the Visit Lauderdale Safe and Clean pledge so you can relax and explore with confidence. When you are ready for that well-deserved staycation, our 23 miles of golden beaches await. Find wide open spaces to hike, bike, kayak, and paddleboard. Visit your favorite attractions, then dine out in style on waterfront patios. Learn more at sunny.org.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone. By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at Ready.gov. A message from Email the Ad Council.
Join the Armchair Quarterback Show for its 9th season. And this year, we're doing it all in one show. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, we'll be talking college football, the SEC, the Big Ten, other big games of the day. We'll be diving into the National Football League, focusing on the Southern football teams and all the big matchups throughout the land. Doing it while covering the point spreads, the over-unders, the prop bets, fantasy football. We'll tell you who to start and who to sit, and everybody's favorite, the stupid underdog picks. We'll cover Major League Baseball all the way through October and beyond. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
Make contact. Collective psychosis is sweeping the nation. We're in the thick of the haze craze. Indonesia is introducing an altered state of IPA. Contact haze is a tangled history of mild haze, low bitterness, and an explosion of hop aroma. This hazy IPA bursts with notes of bright raspberry, currant, citrus, guava, and passion fruit. Available in 6-pack cans in stores at all Seattle Leash locations. Make contact.
Saturday mornings, the Armchair Quarterbacks, a Southern tradition like no other. We dive into the Southeastern Conference and the Southern teams in the National Football League. We talk the betting lines, fantasy football. So join us Saturday mornings and get your football weekend started right with the Armchair Quarterbacks, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, right here on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel. I'm not audible. Red Polly, poor Pancho. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks.
Being brought to you today, the best things in life, which are still free with minimum purchase and participation. Trend running to the post office. Stamps.com brings post office and UPS services right to your computer. Send letters, ship packages, and get up to 40% off USPS and up to 62% off UPS rates. Nearly 1 million Small businesses use stamps.com to save time and money. It's a no-brainer. So skip the post office and visit stamps.com.
Hi, this is Britney Spears.
What I wanted is Jay-Z.
This is This is Armchair.
Hey, Braves fans, the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel are bringing you Braves baseball all season long. Hi, I'm Matt McGee, and I'll be bringing you Braves baseball play-by-play for the Braves fans out there, for all of Braves country. Pull up an armchair, join us for Braves country baseball, first pitch to last pitch, Tuesday and Friday nights, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. Armchair Quarterback Radio. Gunslingers of sports talk.
Southern Mississippi by way of the Atlanta Falcons. They are hopeful to Kansas City in the NFL. From the 35, they're not smart of life, they bring
So many fun and exciting ways to lose your money. So many ways to make your life even more interesting with scribbling financial burden. Why not one more way? In Canada, it's solitaire, MMORPG. Play with yourself online. See other people playing with themselves online. Poverty Poker Online, now offering solitaire. A new way to lose all your money, even your home, from the comfort of your own home. TGIF on the Armchair Quarterbacks. Justin Waller and Mac McGee are back at it 6 p.m. Eastern to 7 p.m. Eastern every Friday evening right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel and your local CBS Sports affiliates. We're talking the NFL, Major League Baseball, Southern football, so grab you a cold one. It's finally Friday on the Armchair Quarterbacks, 6 p.m. Eastern to 7 p.m. Eastern. Waller and McGee getting you ready for your sports weekend.
You're listening to CBS Sports Radio. We are all sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Strong opinions and your phone calls. Again, here, CBS Sports Radio.
Join the Armchair Quarterback Show for its 9th season. And this year, we're doing it all in one show. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, we'll be talking college football, the SEC, the Big Ten, other big games of the day. We'll be diving into the National Football League, focusing on the Southern football teams and all the big matchups throughout the land. Doing it while covering the point spreads, the over-unders, the prop bets, fantasy football. We'll tell you who to start, who to sit, and everybody's favorite, the stupid underdog picks. We'll cover Major League Baseball all the way through October and beyond. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
For any reason you must leave your radio, please have the man at the door stamp your ear. So you can listen again later.
Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live, covering the AFC South and NFC South along with the rest of the NFL. Subscribe and like us today. Your first choice for sports talk live from the first minute.
Saturday mornings, the Armchair quarterbacks, a Southern tradition like no other. We dive into the Southeastern Conference and the Southern teams in the National Football League. We talk the betting lines, fantasy football. So join us Saturday mornings and get your football weekend started right with the Armchair Quarterbacks, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, right here on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
You bet, Joe. I'm just related as Watson.
What's in that cup?
What hopes? Do you have any idea what
Do you have any idea?
Really?
Do you have any idea?
Hyperbole is done. Now we can finally play the game. We are live in Tallahassee, the capital of the great state of Florida. Howard going in motion. On second down and 5 for Michigan, playing on real grass at Michigan Stadium. Going to the sideline. One to 38, and what do they do? I have not seen the kicker come on the field, and I don't think he's coming on the field. Tom Osborne made this decision a long time ago. He's decided to go for 267 win on the field. This is for the national championship for Nebraska. In the state of Florida, as the Gators come calling, and Chief Orciola ready to get it started. Throws it down. Today, we've got number 1 Seminoles against number 2 Hurricanes.
Good morning. How the hell is everybody on this Saturday morning? How are you, Doug?
Doing good, thanks. Doing good.
Did you catch much action last night on any of the ball games?
Well, I watched the Braves game. I actually sat down and watched the whole thing, so
Did
that
you?
I caught.
Was this
that was-
fantasy
that was a-
baseball related?
What's that?
I said, was this fantasy baseball related?
Partially and partially with the Reds dead. I got to follow somebody. I got to have a reason to care about baseball for the rest of the season.
And
So
no better team to choose than the Atlanta Braves. That was a, I'll tell you what, that was a gut wrencher last night.
yeah, it was.
You know,
Good.
I called the game last night, so obviously I watched it pitch by pitch. And usually I feel like the Braves are the better team on the field. And I don't mean to sound that cocky, but they are the defending world champions. Usually I feel like they're the better team. Last night, I didn't feel like they were the better team. I felt like that they got fortunate and they came with some big plays at the end, but they stunk last night. I mean, Odorizzi, he's turning into a guy that you hope you can get him through 4 innings, which is not what Atlanta was. When Atlanta picked him up, they were hoping for a guy that was going to pitch 5-6 innings. And we don't expect him to be lights out, but we expect him to get to 5 or 6 innings with a couple of runs. Okay, he only gave him a couple of runs, but he was in trouble the entire time that he was on the mound, and he only made it through 4 innings. he had such a high pitch count, you had to pull
Yeah.
him. Big
That was
home
true.
run by Michael Harris, though. Michael Harris had himself a game, didn't he?
That was one of my big takeaways with that game is with Harrison. What I think going to be a big star for your team. That was fun watching. That's what I was looking at from that point of view. Was Harrison also Grissom last night?
Yeah, Grissom.
Yeah.
I really like him. He had kind of a boneheaded play that he made. It really wasn't that big a deal because I think the runner may have been safe anyways. But there was a double that was hit, and the ball was thrown into second base. And he kind of nonchalantly just kind of got the ball and turned around. And as he was turning around, the runner was sliding into second. And if he would have had a little more awareness, I think he might have been able to tag him. So he was kind of caught asleep on that. And I'm sure there's going to be a talking to. There's no doubt about it. They'll talk to him off to the side and let him know, hey, man, you could have cost us the game there. We only won by one run, and every run counts here. You know, this isn't Double-A. It's not all about what you can do on the field. It's what you can do for your team. But all in all, I'm very pleased with the kid. Became the first Brave in modern history to hit a home run and steal a base in his Major League Baseball debut.
Yep.
So that was really cool. And his post-game interview after his first game on Wednesday, I was really impressed by that. Just seems like a very humble kid and a kid that is going to fit in well into that clubhouse. For folks who didn't watch the game, don't know what we're talking about. First of all, shame on you. Second of all, Braves held on to win 4-3, and it's a big game because the Mets lost. The Mets lost to the Phillies. I wonder how many Mets and Phillies fans were pissed off. I didn't know until right as the game was starting. That game was not on local TV last night. You had to go to Apple TV to watch that. And you know there were some fans that were irate about that. I mean, you're talking about a big matchup late in the season, and it's only available on Apple TV. That had to have ticked off a lot of fans. There's no way around it.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you another game I watched yesterday, and it goes to the races, and I think it's like out of nowhere. It's in American League East. Watching the Baltimore Orioles play baseball as of lately. They've won 8 out of the last 10. I mean, I know they're 11 games out of first place, of course, but the fact that they went from nothing, and as of this morning, they're in third place. I think that's just a story within itself.
Well,
how well they've been playing baseball.
Well, it's not just that, but they're atop the wild card race. So
they're 2 games behind. They're 2 games behind Seattle as of now.
Yeah, did Seattle win last night?
Seattle won last night, so they're 2.5.
Okay,
2, rather.
When I looked at it, it was a game and a half. But what is really interesting about that, and if you give me 1 second, I'm gonna try to pull it up, so that everyone can see what we're talking about. The American League wild card standings are wild. I mean, they are flat out wild. It is wide open in the National League. There's essentially 4 teams fighting for, well, if you count the Cardinals, because they have a small lead in their division, you could throw in a 5th. But one of those teams, Brewers or Cardinals, are going to win their division. So whoever wins that division is going to be an odd team out. And there are 4 teams fighting for 3 spots. And I think that is going to come down to the end who gets that final spot. I think the Braves will probably pull away and have a comfortable lead to make sure that they get in the playoffs. And the number 2 team may as well do that as well. I mean, Philadelphia's playing good baseball. But outside of that, I'm really, really surprised how close it is with that many teams. And here's the other thing. We talked about this on the show recently, but I don't remember if it was with you or if it was with Tons. The Orioles sold at the deadline. They sold at the deadline, and now they're still winning. I still think it was foolish for them to sell at the deadline. Their fans had to have been really disappointed with that. And I get it. You're trying to rebuild, and these are two guys you don't think you're going to be able to re-sign. So you're thinking, might as well get some prospects. But remember, if you don't re-sign these guys, you also get a draft pick that has been put in there so that things like that can be avoided. But they're doing this without Lopez, who was their closer, and they're doing this without Trey Mancini, who was a leader in the clubhouse, not to mention a pretty damn good bat.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can pull up the standings that I was referring to. Man, they always do this. I don't even know why I go to MLB.com, but I did, and now here we are. The standings. Let me go ahead and pull this up so I can share it on the screen so people can see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
All right. Can you see that pretty good? I'm assuming.
Yeah, I got them right here in front of me too.
Okay, so American League wild card standings. Let me move my. I don't know if that's in anybody's way or not. When I'm moving that out of the way. So this is the wild card standing. This is what we're focusing on right here. Seattle, 2 games in front of Baltimore. That's what I was looking at last time. The fact that Toronto and Seattle are only separated by a half game. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Baltimore's right there, and they are a half game in front of Minnesota, a half game in front of Tampa, and 2.5 games in front of the White Sox. And look here, Boston wins last night, and they still have a pulse. I don't know if they're going to be able to leapfrog all those teams, but I thought that Alex Cora said it perfectly the other day. Someone was interviewing him, and he said something to the effect of, look, all we need is one hot week, and we're right back in it. And it's true. When you're this close to that many teams, if you go on a roll, win 6-7 games in a row, you could leapfrog a lot of these teams and be right back in the hunt. What say you?
Yes. Oh, he's absolutely right. Like I said, when I woke up this morning and saw this, I'm like, it's anybody's game. It's like he said, that's a perfect way of putting it. One hot week, and you're in it.
I mean,
I don't think it could have been said better.
Yeah, all you're looking to do is what you're looking to roll the right dice, almost like you're in Vegas. And I think the biggest thing for the Red Sox and anybody pulling for the Red Sox would be, sorry, I got noises going off over here. Anybody pulling for the Red Sox, there we go. That's a little better, a little more concise. If they can get some good starting pitching, I still think they have capable bats. Braves went in and swept them in a 2-game series, but the Red Sox fought them all the way. That was not 2 easy wins. In fact, the first game was very difficult. I did the game that night, went to extras. Of course, we lose RC, and then that's how we ended up with Grissom. By the way, if Braves fans missed it last night, I mentioned it a few times during the broadcast, but Adrianza is no longer available for the team right now. He is on the IL. It was not disclosed what was wrong, and most people believe that when that happens, it is the old COVID scare. So either he's going through protocols and doesn't want, and they don't want anyone to know about it because it is personal business, it's health related, or he's actually tested positive and he's going to be down for about 5 to 10 days. So hoping for the prior, because right now Eddie Rosario is the backup second baseman. If something were to go down, Eddie Rosario would be your second baseman. And I don't remember the last time Eddie Rosario played second base. I think it was back in like 2018. So yeah, that's not good. Now, if there was an injury to Dansby Swanson, Grissom would slide over to short, and once again, Rosario would be the second baseman.
Mhm.
So hopefully in between games are wrapping these guys in bubble wrap and keeping them from slipping or sliding or whatever. But they called up Heredia, but that doesn't really do anybody any good because you need someone who can play the infield because let's be honest, Heredia has been horrendous. There's a reason why they sent him down.
Yeah.
But anyways, we move on from that. You look at the American handicap it for me right now. We'll revisit it. Hell, we might revisit this every week. But right now, today, who are the three teams that get into the wild card for the American League?
Right now, right at this moment, I would say Seattle. I think Baltimore's for real.
I do too.
I think they're really for real. So I would say Seattle, Baltimore, and Toronto at this point. I know it's easy to say they're the top three, but they're the most consistent. And I think Baltimore is going to mess this up for a lot of other teams.
Well, I've been on the Seattle bandwagon all year long, so there's no way I can jump off now. I predicted that they would make the plus. In fact, I thought they might actually contend to win the division. That's not going to happen. So I'm going Seattle. I have a hard time picking against the Rays. A, because they always pull for them in the American League. B, they always seem to find a way. They always seem to nickel and dime. But this Rays team does not feel like the teams of the past. That said, they're only a half game out. I'm going to go Seattle. I'm going to go Baltimore. And right now, Minnesota is in second place because Cleveland is leading the division. I think Minnesota is going to end up winning that division. So I'm going to go Seattle, Baltimore, and Cleveland for the third wild card. I'd love to see the Red Sox get in this. I'd love to see them shake it up. Look, baseball's always better when the Red Sox are in the playoffs. Whether you love or hate the Red Sox, it's not really important. The important thing is more people watch if the Red Sox are in it. If you get a matchup somehow in the second round of the playoffs of Red Sox Yankees, the way the Yankees have been playing, I mean, they've been a disaster. They have absolutely fallen apart. And it's so funny. Everyone was so ready to give them the keys to the AL about a month ago. And I kept saying at the time, dude, you need to be realistic. The Astros are still the best team in the American League. But now I don't even know if the Yankees are going to make it to the ALCS, much less beat the Astros. If we look at the NL wild card, by the way, Atlanta has a 3.5 game lead on Philly. Philly beat the Mets last night, so the Braves are 6 behind the Mets now. Still quite a bit of ways, but hey, one hot week they could get in it. Philly's in New York all weekend. We're in Miami, and then next week, the first 4 days of the week, the Braves host the Mets. So if they were to get hot and the Mets were to scuffle, the Braves could jump back in. But right now, I'm focused on the wild card as a Braves fan. Because I think next week, bare minimum, you got to win 3 or 4 at home against the Mets to even consider making a run at the division. If you win 3 or 4, that means you gain 2 games in the standings. You could actually make a run. But if you go in there, split the series, or God forbid, lose 3 or 4, you have to just start focusing on the wild card. National League wild card, who makes it?
The Braves, the Padres, and I say Milwaukee.
I'm going to go Braves, Phillies, and Milwaukee. I think this news with about Tatis, I think it is absolutely devastating. Absolutely devastating. I don't believe that Tatis being out of that lineup isn't going to affect them emotionally. They won last night. but it was Washington. They've got a lot of big games down the stretch. And though everybody loves their lineup, even without Tatis, that's got to be a gut punch because he was playing so well in the minors and they were about to bring him up. And now they get this news. And oh, by the way, thanks for screwing my fantasy team again. I mean, I can't do anything with him now because now he's suspended, so he's not on the IL. I've been waiting this whole time to bring him back. And now it's like, okay, so now I got a dead roster spot. I'm getting so fed up with him. And next year, if I were to keep him, it's a dead roster spot until the end of May. It really is becoming absurd.
Well, this whole dynasty fantasy
Puke and rallies, in the puke and rallies, we're here to win championships. We're not here just to make the playoffs.
Well, that's true, but I think that's everybody's attitude. That league has been crazy this year anyway.
That's 7 of the 8 guys in the league. That's their attitude. There's the one guy in our league that's always playing for next year. I was looking at his team this week. What did he win? Like one game? I was looking at his team this week.
Yeah.
He hasn't changed his roster in forever. He's got 2 or 3 guys on the IL that are healthy. And he's got 1 or 2 guys in his lineup that are in the IL. They're still physically in his lineup. And I've got to play him 1 time this year. So it's absolute garbage having him in the league. But I don't know what to do because if he bails, who's going to want that damn roster spot?
Somebody should. I mean, if I took the roster spot I did years ago, they should if they're motivated to build a team.
It's bad, man. It's really bad.
Uh,
I mean, I was looking at the other day. I was like, man, I think there's maybe 5 guys. You know what we would have to do is we would have to let whoever kept the team, they would have to keep as many as they wanted and then get the first, let's say if they keep 5 guys, that they'd have to be able to get the first 10 draft picks just to rebuild their team.
Yeah.
And at that point, I could see, someone wanting to do it. But if you had to keep 15 off of his roster stinks.
Well, mine did years ago. It wasn't that great, but what are you
anyways,
gonna do?
NFL preseason, because we're going to run out of time.
Yep.
Tones and Joey are on the way. Did you catch any games last night? And what jumped out to you? I mean, I'll go first. Zach Wilson, knee injury could be absolutely brutal for the Jets. They said they think he's avoided structural damage, which is the good news. But who the hell knows how long he's going to be out?
Yeah. Mine real quick. I watched Desean Watson for about five minutes. I think he's going to be a $243 million bust whenever he gets done with his suspension. That was I couldn't watch anymore. I watched 5 minutes of that game last night and I'm like,
well,
I can watch that.
The dumbfounding thing is that all his money's guaranteed. So the Cleveland Browns just absolutely sold their soul for someone who I think is going to be unmarketable. I don't think you're going to be able to sell his jersey. Not for a long time. And
not at all.
I saw a video of the Jags fans taunting him in the end zone. I can't say what they were saying on air, but they were giving it to him. They were basically calling him a sick F. And it was pretty funny because the whole end zone was chanting it while he had his back to the end zone. The Browns had the ball like on the 10-yard line or whatever, and you could hear the chant. It was loud and clear. Some positive things from last night. Packers and Niners. You saw some young kids now look, who knows what this means for regular season, but Romeo Doubs went out there and caught a touchdown pass. The other kid from San Francisco caught that long touchdown pass. The hell is his name? God, he caught the long touchdown. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong box score. Gray. Did you see that? The 76-yarder?
Yes, that was sweet.
Streaking down the field. So that's interesting. I mean, they were chucking it around. Sudfeld had most of the passing, but Trey Lance did go 4 for 5 for 92 yards.
And also with the Cardinals game last night, I thought the one kind of bright spot was watching Greg Dortch play, rookie receiver. He looked really good last night. And they actually did something they couldn't do in the regular season. He actually caught a touchdown pass in the red zone. So I thought that was kind of positive for the Cardinals there. He's somebody to watch.
I'll tell you something else. Hurts. Now it's once again his first game, this first preseason game. Who knows? But I think he went 6 for 6. And that's a huge improvement for Jalen Hurts. I mean, a huge improvement. Because this time last year, he was going like 1 for 6, skipping the ball across the pond. Remember at one point, middle of the season last year, I was calling him on Golden Pond because it always looked like he was skipping rocks across the damn pond. But that's going to be huge. If he can actually pass well, that could be a dynamic offense. I've been really skeptical about it because he's pretty much been a running show. But if he gets the same kind of production and plays well this year, I thought it was a foregone conclusion the Cowboys were going to find a way to win that division again. But the Eagles, man, look out. We're doing NFC South predictions up next. Tones and Joey are about to join us. Doug, right before you jet out of here, give me your who's winning the NFC South? Is it the Bucs again?
Right now, I have to say, yeah, with that defense. Right at this moment, I would say yes.
All right. What is your walk-off for the day?
Walk-off, twofold real quick. One, going to watch the Braves game today. Ian Anderson is pitching. I want to see if the week in the minors kind of cleared his head and hope he pitches well, that he kind of gets some of his form back. I'm just saying it from a selfish point, from a fantasy point of view, and the team really needs for him to pitch well right now.
Realize most likely he's going back down to the minors after that start today.
Yeah, but I was hoping against hope that maybe that's all he needed was the week down there, but
he hasn't even thrown a game down there yet. So they're only
okay.
The only reason why they're doing this is because of the injury to Freed, which he should be back Monday or Tuesday, and it's a doubleheader today. So it was either that or do a bullpen game, and nobody wants to see a bullpen game. But yeah, I hope he pitches well, but I do think they're going to send him back down. It might just be for like a week or two, but I do think they're going to send him down. I'm in the same boat. I've got him in fantasy. All right, brother. We'll see you next week.
Quick.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
No. Go.
Oh, I was just gonna say real quick for any Raiders fans listening, Darren Waller is not holding out on his contract. He has a hamstring injury, and that's why he has not been in practice since June 30th. I'll leave it there.
They got to get him in camp, man. Fantasy
know.
Football draft weekend 3 weeks from today. Can't wait. All right, brother. We'll see you next week.
All right. See you then.
We'll be back in a flash. Joey and Tones are joining us here on the Armchair Quarterbacks.
Join the Armchair Quarterback Show for its 9th. This year, we're doing it all in one show. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. We'll be talking college football, the SEC, the Big Ten, other big games of the day. We'll be diving into the National Football League, focusing on the Southern football teams and all the big matchups throughout the land. Doing it while covering the point spreads, the over-unders, the prop bets, fantasy football. We'll tell you who to start, who to sit, and everybody's favorite, the stupid underdog picks. We'll cover Major League Baseball all the way through October and beyond. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel. Saturday mornings, the Armchair Quarterbacks, a Southern tradition like no other. We dive into the Southeastern Conference and the Southern teams in the National Football League. We talk the betting lines, fantasy football. So join us Saturday morning. Get your football weekend started right with the Armchair Quarterbacks tonight. Hey, Braves fans, the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel are bringing you Braves baseball all season long. Hi, I'm Matt McGee, and I'll be bringing you Braves baseball play-by-play for the Braves fans out there, for all of Braves country. So pull up an armchair, join us. Braves Country Baseball, first pitch to last pitch, Tuesday and Friday nights, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel.
I can now bite my fingernails, so I don't even need to use a clip right now. But it's a power use clip. Why gnaw away like a mental patient when we have this elegant device? You don't think they give you clippers? Oh, it's like a weapon. You know what's really a weapon? That big toenail. You let that grow for a month, take it in the shower, it's like a shiz. Well, prison. It is fascinating. Something.
Welcome back here to Armchair Quarterback Show, Saturday morning. And Joey and Tons Ariola. Joey, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Get to see my team play a little bit today in the preseason. We've had a couple games under our belt, but a lot of games today on NFL Network and tomorrow. So excited about that and the home stretch of the baseball regular season. So a great weekend here, beautiful weather, ready to talk sports with y'all.
Tons Ariola, how the hell are you?
I'm doing great. We got some football on today. The Bucks take on the Dolphins, a plethora of other games. Last night felt like a good sports. Friday night, you had baseball flowing, you had preseason football. So just a great time. You know, baseball's picking up, football's right around the corner. Great time to be alive for a sports fan.
See, I'm pulling up the Curious on the NFL Network. Obviously, reruns are going on right now. I'm assuming that Chiefs-Bears game is live at 1 o'clock at Soldier Field.
Yes, that'll be on NFL Network at 1 o'clock. And then they also have
Colts-Bills is live, I'm assuming.
Correct. Yep. And then they have one at 7 and one at 10, I want to say, Eastern time.
Steelers is the 7 o'clock Eastern game. I'm assuming that's live. And then 10 o'clock Dallas and Denver. I don't think that would be live because it's starting at 10 Eastern. And that would be 9 o'clock in Denver. I'd say that's probably starts an hour or so before that, but essentially live. It's being played today. So you got a quadruple header of meaningless football games on. All right. But there are, and by the way, if you're a fan of other teams you're wanting to see, like I am interested to see Dolphins, Bucks. I won't get to see that until tomorrow. They're going to replay it on NFL Network at 7 a.m. So, basically just set your recorder to record all football, and that's what I've done. And I'm a little interested to see Panthers, Washington, just because I want to see what Baker Mayfield looks like. And I'm assuming I believe there's a game tomorrow night that's live. Minnesota Raiders, 4 o'clock Eastern tomorrow. I'm assuming that's the game of the day for the NFL.
Yeah, I believe you're right on that. And NFL Network seems to be loading all of these preseason games unless you got a local squad playing. So if you don't have NFL Network, you're almost out of luck for preseason viewership.
Well, what they found out was years ago, Fox and all of them used to do a bunch of preseason games. What they found out was that it was a waste of time. They just weren't getting the viewership they thought they would get. So they tend to stay away from a lot of games and build up the anticipation for the regular season.
Right.
I mean, I get it. I mean, you don't expect, I don't know, of all the preseason, NFL gets the most eyes on it, but still nobody watches preseason games realistically, right? that Hall of Fame game always gets decent numbers because you have an anticipation of the first game of the year, so people get locked in. But it's funny because they'll show, like, I think this last game was like 5.8 million people watched the game, but you saw the spike, and then by the second half it was in the toilet. Nobody was watching. So but that's the good thing about at the NFL Network. If you have the NFL Network and you don't live in the region of your team, you will get your game eventually. It may take them a day or two, but it will get recycled and rerun.
Right.
That's how I watched the Titans game. It wasn't on nationally and it wasn't on here locally, but I watched it yesterday morning. Basically just wanted to see what the new quarterback looked like. And people made a big deal about him on the preseason because it's a couple of the big plays that he made. But honestly, he looked like a rookie to me. He's not threatening Tannehill anytime soon. But you can see the talent that is there. I just don't know if he's quite ready to take over. If something were to happen to Tannehill, I don't even know if he would play at that point. They may take the third string quarterback and put him in just because Malik Willis is so far behind. He's got incredible athletic ability, but that doesn't help you out as much. The one play that impressed me over any of them was when he was running to his left and he did that sidearm, almost Bernie Kosar type throw. That was fun to watch. But you also know that if you do that too many times in the NFL, that's probably going to be a pick six. You do that too many times where you're off balance, you're throwing this way, and the ball's going that way. There's usually a safety, just going to pick it off, and it's going to be to the house. But it was fun to see.
Yeah, Brett Favre was the career interceptions leader for a reason with a lot of those sidearm throws. It's fun and stuff to look at, but half the time those equate to dangerous plays. But nonetheless, exciting performance, or first performance at least, from the young Malik Willis.
And Ritter had a yesterday, not to other rookie quarterbacks like Ritter. He played a lot more of the game yesterday, ended up having a game-winning drive against Detroit. Like Mac alluded to earlier, these quarterbacks that are in battles, or these rookie quarterbacks like Malik Willis, yes, they're raw and they're in the games for a reason to learn and stuff, but it's cool to see them get some development, make some wacky throws like Mac was alluding to, or Ritter had a game-winning drive against Detroit. It's cool to see these young guys make plays. We know it's the preseason, but that's all we got is watching these young QBs sometimes.
Yeah, to me, with the preseason, that's all that's interesting.
Right.
If you're watching the Colts game today, you're watching to see what Matt Ryan looks like.
Correct.
But once again, the litmus test can be very skewed because he can light it up, right? He can go 9 for 9, 120 yards, 2 touchdowns. You're like, let's go. And then week one, you're like, what the hell is this? Oh, yeah, he's 40. So it's a total different mindset because the game plans are very vanilla from both sides, not just the offense, but also the defense. But with that being said, you don't want to see your guys struggle in the preseason. But
correct.
The guy that Doug and I were talking about at the beginning of the show, the guy that I was most impressed by last night, I think was playing Jalen Hurts, 6 for 6 for 80 yards. That to me was very impressive. Just because when I think of Jalen Hurts and I think of his stat line normally, he's got 6 completions. It's because he threw the ball 14 times, right? And at the end, like, he's always a solid fantasy quarterback because he's going to get yards on the ground. He'll find a way to sneak into the end zone and maybe throw one, and you're always happy with the stat line. But if he can do things like that, he's going to vault to the top of the fantasy football. And that's all I really care about when I watch any of this junk. Is I'm looking for signs of, like Romeo Doubs. Everyone's big on Romeo Doubs this year for the Packers. Well, he caught a touchdown pass. The thing is, he didn't catch it from Aaron Rodgers. So you don't know what his actual chemistry is going to be with Rodgers. because you can see these guys light it up, and then Rodgers comes in and he's just going straight to Randall Cobb every single time. You're like, son of a, what the hell was I doing? So that's I caution anyone who watches these preseason games, don't get overzealous and start putting all your eggs in baskets because you get fired up and see a great play like the kid Gray from the 49ers last night, right? The 76-yard touchdown pass. Someone's drafted him in the second round this year because of that play.
No, you're absolutely right on that.
Yeah.
I remember seeing on Monday Night Football last year, the Saints had a preseason game, and this smaller guy had like a 70-yard bomb touchdown. I'm like, he's going to be all over the place in fantasy league. I don't think he caught a touchdown the whole season. I don't even know if he made the roster. You see some of these plays, like you said, don't get too excited. Actually take a little more in those practices when they have with the teams this week, next week, when they have those full-on scrimmages. To me, those even give a little bit more proof for your regular season, because these preseason, you could be a little wishy-washy by some of the big plays.
By the way, a game that I'm a little disappointed they're not putting on. I get it, man. Broncos, Cowboys. Everyone wants to see the Cowboys, whatever. Dude, Rams Chargers play tonight at 10 o'clock. That would have been the game to put on.
Yeah, that's a good game. I mean, you have two teams who are high expectations this year, and fans just want football on, and ex-Super Bowl champs. What a better matchup that would have been a nice one to put on the Saturday night of week 1 of preseason than that one to get people tuned up for an NFL season.
I'll tell you another one, and maybe you have to be a diehard fan to want to see this, but I would like to see Saints Texans for a couple of reasons, both sides of the ball. Because like I said, man, I watch this stuff for fantasy football reasons. I would like to see what Jameis Winston looks like after coming back from the injury. I would like to see who plays for the Saints, and if they play, how well they play. We don't expect Michael Thomas on the field. But also for the Texans, man, they've got a huge battle in their backfield. And you want to see, is it going to be right now? Mack and Burkhead are the top of the depth chart, but that can change on any given week. I would like to see what Damian Pierce looks like. Just a lot of things. I would love to see Saints Texans.
And Davis Mills, I'm very intrigued what the Texans have in him. He had a very good rookie season for where he got drafted, in my opinion, last year. So I'm looking to see, even though he's without Mechie, their second round rookie wide receiver who's dealing with health issues off the field, speedy recovery to him. I'm interested to see. This is a big year for Davis Mills. Is he going to take the step and prove to Lovie Smith and the organization that he's their quarterback of the future, or is he going to be more of a Mike Glennon type and shift into more of a backup role?
I know one thing that Steelers Seahawks, you talk about quarterback battles, that's a fun one.
That's great. That's the perfect game.
And that game is live on NFL Network tonight at 7. You've got, what's going on in Seattle with Geno Smith and Drew Lock. And then, of course, Trubisky versus Pickett. And you get to see what they look like. You got to figure most of the Steeler homers really want to see Trubisky do well, but Pickett's their hometown guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I got to figure that if dollars to donuts, Pickett's going to sell some jerseys in Pittsburgh if he ends up starting.
Yeah, definitely. And, you love the hometown kid as a rookie first-round pick. The Steelers are going to rally behind him. Like you said, they're going to root for Trubisky. He'll probably be trotted out there week 1. But it comes week 3, and they're not winning ball games. They're going to try and pivot quick because they won with Big Ben last year, so they could surely do better with either of those guys this year. And I even heard, not that I agree with it or not that it's realistic, but they're going to give Mason Rudolph a crack tonight as well to show what he can do. So Pittsburgh's got an interesting quarterback situation going on.
Might as well throw out Duck Rogers. Jeez.
I mean, I think we've seen what Mason Rudolph can do.
I agree. He's underwhelming. He's very underwhelming.
He is the epitome of game manager, right? Like you put him in the game, it's an emergency situation. You just don't want him to turn the ball over.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on a little bit and go into the NFC South. And Jones, we'll let you start it. I know you're going to tell us a million reasons why the Buccaneers are going to win the division, the Super Bowl, et cetera, et cetera. But are you a little concerned that Tom Brady's away from the team for like the next 10 days?
I'm actually not as concerned about that as I am about some other things within the team right now. I feel like this Brady thing was probably pre-planned. We know that Todd Bowles is coaching for his life perhaps in the coming years, and he had a chance with the Jets that went down the tube. So you know he's going to do everything he can to have a successful tenure in Tampa. Well, when they're trying to convince Brady to come back, what's one of those things that happens? We know he needs Giselle time at this point in his career. He doesn't necessarily need to be trotted out on the practice field at this point in time. That's why he got a week to 10 days in with these guys already. And by the time he's rumored to get back, at least, he'll still have 3 weeks left to get a report with a lot of these guys. So I'm not so concerned about the fact that Brady is the Brady situation within itself as I am with the team getting used to different ball throwers over the coming course of the weeks. I am excited that Kyle Trask gets more realistic opportunity to throw the football. I am excited to see if Trask can prove himself. But what does worry me a little bit is when guys like a Russell Gage, a Julio Jones, a Kyle Rudolph, and a Rashad White coming out of the backfield perhaps don't have that rapport with Brady yet. Brady's got to learn a new center to play with Robert Hainsey. So I'm more a little worried on the scenarios of the game itself, actually, when Brady will be away. But like I said, they'll have 3 weeks when he does come back.
The injuries on the offensive line, I mean, God bless.
Ryan Jensen, man, that was a big one. And he's still unknown. We'll see. The word is still out that he might try and come back late in the year like Vita Vea did a couple years back when we won the Super Bowl. So holding my breath for that.
Right. But then the backup center got banged up this week, didn't he?
Yeah, he went down due to cramps, carted off the field a little bit.
Just cramps? Okay.
But he came back the next day or yesterday. He missed a practice and a half but they ended up finding out it was just cramps. But he had us scared because he got carted off the field. But
So
that Tampa Heat.
He just missed time due to pansy. Okay.
Yeah.
That heat exhaustion.
Go puke in a bucket and get your ass back on the field, son. That's what they told me when I was playing.
He probably didn't think he was going to get many snaps.
I think about some of my coaches. I would do, man, I got cramps, but you got to cart me off the field for the day. Oh my God.
Well, the scariest thing was we were all scared because it was the last play.
I'd rather walk into traffic than tell one of my coaches.
I got a broken finger. Get back in there.
It was the last play of the day, at least. So, God bless, he did make it through the entirety of practice. But that's why a lot of fans are scared because he got carted off. Thankfully, it was just
carted off for cramps. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's pansy.
It is crazy, but
my biggest regret about this is that I'll never get to see me play. I can watch the games afterwards, but I can't imagine what it's like for you to see something like that. It's like watching the Beatles or Jesus perform at the Red Rocks. Did y'all see that quote by Antonio Brown?
Yeah, that's Antonio Brown in a nutshell. The fact that he signed
what a jackass.
Yeah,
I pray nobody signs him.
No one's gonna sign him.
TMZ caught him on the street and they were interviewing him, and of course the lady that interviewed him did a terrible job. You cornered Antonio Brown, man. You gut punch him with some hard questions because he's gonna crack like a freaking walnut, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead, she just put layups on. Oh, you putting out a new album? Oh, it's gotta be great. I can't wait. That's gotta be awesome. It's gotta be awesome. Not, oh, you putting out a new album? Really? Because the first one didn't suck bad enough. You gotta go out and put a new one out.
We should have got the guy that interviewed Carson Wentz who just said, "You're inaccurate. The Colts didn't want you." I don't know if you saw that, but this guy was hammering Carson Wentz in an interview, saying the Eagles don't want you, the Colts don't want you. Are you sure Washington's gonna want you? Like they were just drilling him. We need more reporting like that.
Well, but as far as I know, Carson Wentz isn't a jackass.
He's not. No, but I'm saying let's give the hard question.
Antonio Brown's a jackass, and anything that gets thrown his way, he deserves.
Let's give him the hard questions, the jackass.
Yeah, well, Antonio Brown is all about himself too, right? So Antonio Brown is going to be Antonio Brown. Ask him the hardball questions. I agree. He needs
Until this quote, I almost forgot that about the frozen feet incident. Because the actual quote starts off with, my biggest regret in my career doesn't involve me calling my GM a cracker or showing up to the Raiders camp late in a hot air balloon with frozen feet. Or throwing rocks at the UPS driver. And it definitely doesn't involve taking my shirt off and doing a victory lap. What victory lap? Your team lost and you were getting kicked off the team around the Jets Stadium mid-game while throwing up my deuces. My biggest regret is that I'll never get to see Antonio Brown play a game live.
As Will Ferrell once said in Old School, you're crazy.
You're Antonio Brown, don't worry. None of us will get to see you play a game live again either. Okay? We're all in the same boat. You will not play. And then he ended the interview with the TMZ gal telling her to tell Jerry Jones to call him. The Cowboys want that damn headache.
They already got Mike McCarthy. They already got a circus with McCarthy. They don't need to add another clown in Antonio Brown.
No, he just wants to be a Cowboy because he knows everybody watches the Cowboys.
Correct.
So he's trying to help his brand.
He'll bring a microphone out there and celebrate.
He doesn't say anything to the effect of, I'll play for anybody. I just want a chance to get back on the field, right? Tell Jacksonville to call me. Tell Cleveland to call him. Oh, my God, never mind Cleveland. Can you imagine Desean Watson on the same team?
Cleveland would have to be
not just for everybody.
Who's in the back room now?
Did y'all see the video, by the way, of Desean Watson gets into the game last night, and the Jacksonville fans in the end zone were chanting. I can't say what they were chanting, but they were chanting "You sick F." You can fill in the blank. And they were chanting at the top of the.
He better get used to it.
There's no way he didn't hear that.
No way.
It was a pretty quiet state. It was a preseason game, and there was, I'd say, 30, 40 people chanting that together.
Yeah, that's just the beginning of that for him. I mean, we all thought the Astros had a tough time dealing with Chance after their on-field cheating scandal. Well, Desean Watson's going to get even more heinous chance due to his off-the-field actions.
Okay, so are we all in agreement that the Buccaneers are going to win the division?
Yes.
Correct.
So no one has any. Who finishes second? Tones, we'll start with you.
I think it's the Saints, and although they're undergoing a lot of changes this offseason, in particular the head coach position, the quarterback's coming back from a big injury. All three of their top wide receivers did not play last year in New Orleans, whether it's because they were in college, injured, or on a different team. That's Landry, Olave, and Michael Thomas. Alvin Kamara is going to be suspended at some point in time. So the Saints have a lot
of be this year, but yeah.
They got a lot of moving pieces and whatnot. And, they got a lot of interesting things going on. But at the end of the day, their talent defensively and offensively, they added guys like Honey Badger. They got Marcus Davenport. They still shape up a lot better talent-wise and coaching-wise because Dennis Allen, not that he did great in Oakland when he was there for a season or two, but, he's been under Sean Payton now learning and gathering his tutelage. So give me him over fake Doug Heffernan and Matt Rule any day of the week. And give me him over Art Smith as well. Although Art Smith did a decent job in Atlanta last year, I thought they overachieved. I still like the Saints' chances of finishing second, given their pure talent. But they did lose a lot this offseason, so I'm not expecting your over 500 prototypical New Orleans Saints. I'm seeing about an 8-9 or a 9-8 win Saints team.
Joey, do you have the Saints finishing second in the division?
I'm actually going to go a little different here, and I know I'm going to go out on a limb a little bit, but here's two guys that I think are going to have comeback seasons, and that's Baker Mayfield and Christian McCaffrey. If McCaffrey can stay healthy, which I will not draft him in the first round because I don't want to have that risk of only getting 4 to 6 games out of him, but if he could stay on the field the most of the season, he's going to put up big numbers. And Baker Mayfield, 2 years ago, he was on top of the world in Cleveland, won a playoff game for the first time there in many years. You got DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson, Tommy Trumbull at tight end. So I think they got some things going there. And this is make or break for Matt Rule. I mean, he's been struggling a lot of the time he was here. He has a pretty decent defense. I think if Baker and McCaffrey can be successful, this team can compete for second place, because I do like the Saints' talent, but I'm going to go a little off the board here. I'm a Baker guy. I want McCaffrey to do well. I don't see the second place team getting double digits wins either. I could see the Saints or Panthers battling it out for about 8 or 9 wins. So I'm going to put the Panthers at a slight edge over the Saints.
You know, I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that the Saints are going to finish second in the division. I think they're going to compete with the Bucks, mainly because they have the Bucks number. They always seem to outplay the Bucks when they play them. The problem is the Saints always seem to lose games they shouldn't lose. And that's going to be the problem, is trying to – now, they no longer have the Drew Brees situation, which was – he was noodle arm at the end of his career. And then last year, Jameis Winston got hurt really early. This Saints team, I think I'm still hedging my bet that the Bucks are going to win that division, but I think it's going to be by a game or two. I don't think it's going to be by this big margin. And the Panthers, I think, could hang around 7-8 wins. I think the Saints get closer to 10 wins, but the Bucks will probably. I see it like this. I see the Bucks winning the division somewhere around like 11-6, and the Saints falling just short around 10-7. And the Panthers, assuming that they win the games that they're supposed to win, they could make an outside argument to make a run at the wild card. I think the NFC is pretty wide open at the wild card spot, because you don't have the powerhouses that you have in the AFC. NFC is actually pretty watered down. You got the Bucks, you've got the Packers still. You always got the Packers. And then, of course, the Rams. And then outside of that, it's kind of a crapshoot. Whoever wins the NFC East, and then there's going to be 3 wild cards. And I don't think the NFC East gets a wild card. They never get a damn wild card, because they're usually around about 500 or worse.
Right.
So there are so many teams that I think have a decent chance at making a run of the wild card. The Panthers, I'd be shocked if they made the wild card. But they got a puncher's chance with Baker Mayfield. And can he get more out of DJ Moore than what the previous quarterbacks have gotten?
Yeah,
my biggest concern with that is the CMC stay healthy.
Yep.
And if he does not, then where do they get the production? Because you can't just have Baker back there chucking it 50 times.
And Chuba Hubbard can't carry the load.
Yeah, he didn't do that great last year in a fill-in role.
No, I'm not going to go as far to say he's a bust, but you know, he's got competition right now for the backup role.
Deontay Foreman looks impressive, I've heard.
Right. So Foreman's more likely, if it were to go down, think of it this way: if you get CMC in your fantasy team, I'd be more willing to grab Foreman as my handcuff, because if nothing else, we know one thing: Foreman's going to get the goal line carries.
Right.
He's just a bigger, more physical back. But because the Saints, I believe, have more weapons, I've got to take them second, Panthers third, and then the Falcons are in a complete rebuild. It'll be interesting to see that this coaching staff of Atlanta is around after the dust settles in this rebuild mode.
And they had that early injury yesterday with Drake London, so not a good start. Not a good start.
Yeah, is there any news on him, by the way?
No, they said they'll have more reports at a later point in today for their number 1 receiver, who I think that they could have taken other receivers too. I like what Drake London brings, but I think there was a little better talent on the board when they did select Drake London.
It isn't believed to be a serious one as of 6 hours ago, but nothing on how many weeks.
One thing I do like about Carolina real quick, their young defense is intriguing. It's just if they could fill up to their potential between Brian Burns, Derek Brown, Yetur Gross-Matos, Dante Jackson, Jeremy Chin, and J.C. Horn. Those are some young, talented defensive names. So if they could somehow develop a bit, I know it's hard under a coach like Matt Rule, but you know, they could take the next step perhaps.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. Everyone seems to be tweeting out that it's a minor injury, but
Yeah,
still
I
not
see.
something that you want from a kid who's trying to learn because, okay, it might be minor injury, like let's say misses a couple of weeks, but that's valuable time that he needed to build a rapport. Who do we, at this point, I still think it's probably Mariota that gets the nod in week 1. But I feel like Ritter's gonna get the reins by the 4th, 5th week of the season.
Oh, completely agree. And their receiver room after Drake London is scary. You only got Brian Edwards, you got Geronimo Allison, who I know it may take some looks, but they don't. Yeah, CPAT, but he's more been running back lately. They just don't have a lot going for him. I totally expect Ritter to take over by week 4 to 8 range.
And we do have mini breaking news here quick. Baker Mayfield, as many expected, has officially been named the starting quarterback for today's game for the Carolina Panthers. So a lot of people said it was competition between Darnold and Mayfield gets to show what he can do before Sam Darnold does here today.
I don't think Darnold has a shot in hell of starting.
I hope not.
I mean, barring injury.
Right.
But he's been so bad that you got to at least give Baker a shot, right? Like Baker's got to go out there, crap the bed, and you go, all right, get out there, let's go.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
At least he's won a playoff game.
What you need behind you, Joey, as I'm looking at you, is I see the WWE flag. Lame. But behind Sandberg's pretty cool. But wouldn't it be cool? You need to do a swapsies with tones. You need to get the W flag that he's got and put it side by side with the other W flag, and then give him the Sandberg flag, and the two of y'all be ready to roll.
Funny part is I have one extra W flag, so you got it next week. I will make that happen for you.
I think that would look cool, though. I mean, I love Sandberg. Don't get me wrong, but I think it would look cool that you get the W for the Cubs, you have the W for your, for the wrestling.
Isn't it exciting that we actually have a background?
Yeah. What is in front of your W flag? Is that just a television?
Yeah, I didn't want to take it down, but it is just.
I wasn't sure what it was. Okay.
Yeah, just a television.
You could really freak everybody out and put the show on behind.
I think I have that going on. It's hard to see, but
you got
your TV's impossible to see because it's like your camera view. But yeah, you have a TV behind you somewhere.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, it's just.
I see the Bucks flag. I see the W flag, and then I see a Buccaneers picture, and then it looks like someone playing basketball at the very, very top.
Carlos Boozer.
It's just Carlos Boozer.
Dunking on LeBron.
See, with you being in Chicago, I would have put any amount of money that it was Michael Jordan, but okay, Carlos.
Well, it's just because he's dunking on LeBron. That's the main part of it. Postering LeBron James. You can't beat that.
Is that a card or is that a picture?
It's a picture from I think we got it in like a newspaper one day, but it's like an actual picture, so it's kind of cool.
All right, so I think we pretty much put a cap on that. I mean, everyone's got the Bucks.
Yep.
Tons and I get the Saints in second. You're taking the Panthers, and then you just flip-flop it. And then the Falcons. What's the over-under Falcons wins, you think, this year? I mean, what? 4.5? Would you take the over or the under?
I was going to put it at 4.5 too. And just to be nice, I'll give them 5 wins and put them at 5-12.
Yeah, I'll put them at 5-12 as well. I'll give slightly over just because I think they won more games than they should have last year, so maybe they'll do the same this year.
If they won any games last year, they won more than they should have.
That defense, oh my goodness.
They are not good. They did win last night, but once again, the preseason. Dude, what is the deal with the Ravens just being obsessed about winning preseason games? What was that, the 21st win in a row?
Mm-hmm.
They haven't lost since 2017, I believe I heard.
No, that streak goes back to 2016. I don't know if they lost the game in 2016, like the tail end of it or whatever, but
Right.
The streak goes back to 2016. It's insane.
Harbaugh's biting kneecaps, unlike Dan Campbell, it seems like.
Ravens want to win in the preseason because they have a hard time lately getting to the next level in the regular season. So hey,
by the way, they start the season at home against the Saints.
Oh,
wow.
That's a good one.
Correct.
And then they got to go out to the Rams. Oof.
Ooh.
Roadkill.
Tough defenses to start with.
You look at their man, they've got a brutal schedule. I don't know
Well,
if they can make 5 wins.
Their division, you know, that's a lot of. You got you got Saints, and you got Bucks right there, and then, you know, we play tough divisions as well as we play the Bengals division and we play the Seahawks division. So just a lot of tough games on the schedule this year for NFC South foes.
For a team that had such a bad record, you wouldn't expect their schedule to be as tough as it is.
Maybe they're not getting 5 wins. I might take that back.
Well, you got 4 losses, you would think, against the Saints and Bucks. Not to say anything's ever a loss, but then, you know, you still have to play the Browns, the Bengals. You got the Ravens thrown in there, you know.
The Saints will blow one of those games.
Yeah, they will. And that, yeah, you're right. The Saints always lose to who they're supposed to beat.
It's interesting. They got to play the Panthers 2 times in 3 weeks.
I hate when they do that with division teams.
The Colts play 5 of their
last year. The Jets and the Dolphins played twice, only separated by a bye week.
Yep.
Like, well, what the hell is that?
Colts and Titans seem to always play twice in the first 6 weeks too in the regular season. We never get them at the end. I just hate how they do the division
Well,
games.
for a
sometimes.
while, we were finishing the season off with them, but
But the last few years, it's been we've gotten Jaguars and you guys gotten Texans. I feel like for the past couple of years, for sure.
yeah, the season ends again this year with the Jaguars, so it means you're ending it with the
Colts have 5 of their first 6 division games in the first 7 weeks of the year. So by the time week 7 hits, Colts will be done with 5 of their 6 division games besides the week 18 one.
Yeah, Titans and Colts are done before Halloween.
I'm going to the 1 week 4 actually in Indianapolis. I'll be at that game.
My condolences
To you.
Ooh, ding, ding, ding.
You're gonna get ran over, Betty. Derrick Henry's back.
We got the best running back in that building. This is going to be a fun one.
We shall see, baby boy.
Put on the gloves, fellas. It is Saturday.
The best part about it is
That's
a coin
cute
flip.
story you're telling us there, but it ain't true.
Hey, I'd rather have a guy healthy than
The
injured.
night train's a locomotive headed straight for Indianapolis, baby.
Yep, until that foot gets a little sore.
I like the fact that Jonathan Taylor is young. He hasn't had his first injury yet, and it's coming. I feel an ACL tear coming this year.
Karma's going to be bad for you because Henry might get only 4 games played under that belt, I'm thinking.
I did call the Henry thing last year. I said the Titans were going to run him into the ground. They ran him into the damn ground last year. They can't do that again this year. They cannot do that again
You
this
better
year.
worry about Leonard Fournette's fat ass coming into camp. You better not worry about Derrick
Hey,
Henry.
we don't have to worry about running backs. That's all you could win by is your running back. We don't have to worry about any running back over here, brother.
That's what you said last year, and you kept telling Rojo was worth a damn.
Hey, and Leonard Fournette had a better year
now
than
we're gonna have
Derrick
to listen
Henry
to how
last year.
Rashad is the man.
Lenny F had a better year than Derrick Henry last year, so that's a tough pill to swallow for you, I'm sure.
Who had a better year?
Lenny F had a better year than Derrick Henry last year. Yep, it's all over the stat sheet if you look into it.
Negative Ghost Rider.
3.9 yards per carry, Henry, you mean?
Derrick Henry was banged up last year. He'll be just fine.
Until he gets hurt.
Well, that's everybody.
All
Your
I'm saying is
quarterback's 50.
over under 8.5
And your running back's
games.
30 pounds overweight.
Over under 8.5 games for Derrick Henry.
Hey,
this
I
year.
don't think his quarterback had counseling though after the playoff loss.
Henry's had 1 injury his entire career.
Taylor's had 0.
What's that?
Jonathan Taylor has had 0.
He's also been playing a couple of years, man.
And that's the best part about it. Young running backs don't get hurt like the older guys.
Oh man, what is this? August 13th, 10:23 a.m. I'm gonna have to make sure that we cart that. Young running backs don't get hurt.
I mean, look at how it's going right now. I mean, the guys have been in the league a while. The McCaffrey's
Okay.
been. Hey, we'll see. I'm just saying. I'm very comfortable.
You just put the kiss of death on your boy. I'm not drafting him in any league now.
Hey, you put the bad karma on by hoping for an ACL tear.
The young running backs don't get hurt. Week 1 in Houston on fake grass.
Uh-oh.
I can see it already. You'll be flashing on the bottom line.
They're gonna try to get Marlon Mack back, maybe, but
No,
no,
I
I
may
think
not even make it to that. They're playing today, but you just put the kiss of death on him.
Oh man.
He'll get taken out in the sidelines. He won't even be lined up to play.
No, they're putting one real quick for real. They are putting bubble wrap essentially around him. You won't see Jonathan Taylor for one snap this preseason. They reported last week. So all jokes aside, one person you won't see for the Colts is Jonathan Taylor. You don't need to, right?
Put any running back in. That's why it was not a good sign when McDaniels had Josh Jacobs in the other day.
yeah.
The
that
moment
road
I
is
saw
deep.
that, the first thing I thought to myself is, well, damn, that sucks because I wasn't drafting him anyways because I feel like he's extremely overrated. But now that is on the table, steer clear of that running back room. Remember, it's the same guy that has been orchestrating the New England Patriots running back room for years.
Mm-hmm.
You draft anybody, and it still makes me a little nervous about Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, man. Anything that McDaniels is involved in usually sucks.
And the interesting thing with the Raiders backfield too, it's like they got some names back there as well. Kenyon Drake, they're high on Zamir White. They brought in Amir Abdullah. So like you said, it could look very much like a Patriots type rotation by the time the year's all said and done back there.
Henry didn't suit up, did he, for the first game?
Henry's not suiting up for any of the games, man.
That's what I assumed. I just wanted to get delayed. I assume he wouldn't.
And he's gonna have a pitch count, They're just, I mean, he's fine. He's at full health. I mean, he's made of granite. But at the same token, you're not worried about if he's going to get through this year. You're hoping it, if you're the Titans front office, you're trying to get another good 3 years out of him.
Correct.
Right? So,
Yeah, I mean, realistically, like we were joking about all our guys. I trust Derrick Henry still. The ones I don't trust is McCaffrey.
Karma's a bitch. All 3 of our guys are going down this year.
Yeah, they are. We're all screwed.
It'll be week 3, and all our teams are trying to get Ronald Jones out of free agency because they're all
Derrick Henry, John Taylor go down, and then somehow Leonard Fournette and Tom Brady have a collision in the backfield. The 2 of them are on the IR.
Next thing you know, in week 4, Cam Newton's the Colts starting running back.
Rojo's back in Tampa, and McGee is stuck with Lundell White returning for Tennessee.
Hey, man, thunder and lightning.
That boom.
That was awesome. Chris Johnson and Lundell White back in the day.
That's right.
CJ2K, man, when he took off, he had the best fantasy year I've ever witnessed.
I remember they screwed that year against the Ravens. Kerry Collins was the quarterback. I remember that playoff game pretty well, actually. Not to get too far off track, but they should have won that dang game, but a long time ago.
Real quick before you take off, Joey, do the Padres make the playoffs now that they lose Tatis for 80 games? He's done till next May.
Man, you want to talk about some interesting breaking news that we got on Friday night. As I look at the standings right now, overall, the Padres are in that last spot. Milwaukee see, the thing is, I still do think they make the playoffs because they're pretty close with all the wild card game. The Braves are going to take the first wild card. That one's over. But the Phillies, they're only a half behind them. And then the Brewers, who I'm not big on, are 2 behind the Padres. And then Giants and Diamondbacks are way out. So I do think the Padres almost get in by default because the only team truly competing with them is Milwaukee. And I'm down on them. So I'll say San Diego sneaks in the back end of the wild card. They'll either get one of the last 2 spots. because I mean the Braves aren't going anywhere.
13-year, $340 million deal they gave that guy.
Yeah, so I mean, going into fantasy next year too, that's going to be interesting because he's going to miss what, like 30 to 40
Dude, he
games?
screwed me again, man. This guy has screwed me. I have had him in fantasy for I don't know how long in our dynasty league, and he continues to screw me left and right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the thing is, too, it's hard to value him now because he's only 22 years old, so still a lot of career left, but he'll pretty much essentially be out of baseball for almost 2 calendar years by the time he gets back on the field.
Well, what's really sucks about the whole thing is when he's suspended, means he's not on the IL anymore. It means you don't have a roster spot you can put him. So you either have to absorb this guy or kick him back out to the market. Someone's going to pick him up. Why wouldn't they? He's extremely talented.
And the weirdest thing apart, he's not even playing and he gets a PED suspension.
Yeah, it sucks. And I mean, he was playing well in the minors. He was about to get called up. I think they were going to call him up next week, but not now.
Ringworm.
BS. Ringworm. I was taking ringworm medicine, didn't know that it had performance-enhancing drugs.
That's like the one, I reached in my medicine cabinet and didn't see what I was pouring.
Yeah,
Some sad news to end my walk off here.
I think the Padres are going to find a way to choke it away. I think they're going to fall out, and I think the Brewers or Cardinals, whoever runs that division, grabs that last spot. And I guess they would play each other because right now the Mets and the Dodgers are sitting up at the top, so they'll get the buys. So that would be the Cardinals versus Brewers in the first round and Braves versus Phillies, which would actually be kind of fun to see 2 division rivals.
I like that.
Yeah, that would be good matchups.
If not, if you get the Padres going to St. Louis first round, I mean, look, I think a lot of people were thinking, man, the Padres are going to turn it up. Man, they haven't played well since the Soto signing or the Soto trade anyways. They won last night, but Christ, they were playing the damn Washington Nationals. And after that trade, they essentially turned the Nationals into a AAA team.
And they did the same thing last year. They were well on pace to make the playoffs and had a pretty epic collapse to end the year. So we'll see if history repeats itself in San Diego.
Really quickly before I sign off here, just want to say a little breaking news on Notre Dame. Unfortunately, they lost their starting wide receiver, Avery Davis, with a torn ACL. So,
man, karma gotcha. You're talking smack about Derrick Henry. You already lost a guy.
That's so not fair. You wished a torn ACL on my boy JT.
I don't remember it that way.
You all have a good day.
All right, brother.
See you later.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Bobby is joining us, and we are going to talk some fantasy football and some NFL reactions. We'll be back in a flash here on the Armchair Quarterbacks Saturday morning wake-up show. We'll be back in just a flash.
Saturday mornings, the Armchair Quarterbacks, a Southern tradition like no other. We dive into the Southeastern Conference and the Southern teams in the National Football League. We talk the betting lines, fantasy football. So join us Saturday mornings and get your football weekend started right with the Armchair Quarterbacks, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, right here on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
Yeah, I stay calling from Cyprus. On Joe night, Dana. Why, mate? What's this box hole pretty much back? Holy dooly. A delicate matter. But a bird wingman is useless. Now, there are rules, okay? Only one Kramer and can't range between his shoulder blades at the same time. Well, anything else? Whack it off, big mate. Last thing you want to do is a second touch. And remember, Dino, the following things are not permitted. Eye contact, scented candle, power balance, and do not apply if he's wearing budgie smugglers. Are we all clear? Crystal. Cheers, brothers. No dramas. Armchair.
Hey, Braves fans, the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel are bringing you Braves baseball all season long. Hi, I'm Matt McGee, and I'll be bringing you Braves baseball play-by-play for the Braves fans out there, for all of Braves country. Pull up an armchair, join us. Braves Country Baseball, first pitch to last pitch, Tuesday and Friday nights, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel.
What happens when 5 eligible bachelors welcome a little girl into their lives?
Hey, it's my turn in the bathroom.
Non-stop hilarity. Five uncles. Hey, Gina, welcome to your new home. You sleep in there, and we all sleep in here. The show that shows family values exist even in unconventional families.
Oh, what are you guys doing in there?
Taking hilarious comedy in a whole new funny direction.
I don't get it. Why don't any of you guys have a steady girlfriend? I'm an emotionally abused orphan. Can I get in on any of these group hugs?
Five uncles. Thursday nights on LSBC.
Join the Armchair Quarterback Show for its 9th season. And this year, we're doing it all in one show. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. We'll be talking college football, the SEC, the Big Ten, other big games of the day. We'll be diving into the National Football League, focusing on the Southern football teams and all the big matchups throughout the land. Doing it while covering the point spreads, the over-unders, the prop bets, fantasy football. We'll tell you who to start, who to sit, and everybody's favorite, the stupid underdog picks. We'll cover Major League Baseball all the way through October and beyond. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern and noon Eastern, Saturday mornings on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
I'm rocking a hard place. Do I work hard? Put it in my pay. You're only young one in the night. Doing like the cocaine. Wait, no, I said the wind, no shame. Wait, no, I did it on Sundays. Every day.
Welcome back here to the Armchair Quarterbacks. We're here every Saturday morning till the end of football season, 9 a.m. to noon. And joining us now is Bobby. Bobby, how the hell are you, sir? You're muted, Bobby.
My bad. I was saying I was doing good this morning. How about you?
You look like the young one, but you act like the old one. all I need you to do is get the camera closer to you. Or like one of those old guys who's got his damn shorts off, is walking around, junk hanging in the picture.
Still getting it figured out.
Arizona, they play tonight.
No, they played last night.
Did they
Played the
play last?
Bengals.
Okay, I didn't catch that game. How'd they do?
They looked good and they put up a lot of points. The score looked closer than it was. They had the lead for almost all the game and it was not very close. So it made me a little bit confident in the depth we have on our team, and some of the young guys looked good, so I'm happy with it.
Did Murray play? No, he did not.
No.
Oh, I did see the highlights of McSorley. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, McSorley and Garantano played.
Yeah, see, Garantano. Wow,
Mhm.
Garantano sighting. Wow. I did not know Garantano was still kicking in the.
Yep.
Half was that?
Second half he played.
I didn't know he made it to the league, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's hanging on to that spot for now.
Played the Bengals. Didn't look like any of their starters played as well.
Mm-mm.
So I'm assuming next week's going to be the dress rehearsal. Because remember how last year when this started, everyone thought it was going to be week 3 because you still get a week off, blah, blah, blah. But they didn't do that last year.
Right.
So is next week going to be the dress rehearsal?
It sounds like in Bucks Colt, or for the Bucks, it sounds like it'll be week 3. I know that's what they did last year, but the Colts already said too against the Bucks in week 3 this year, their starters are going to play till halftime. So I think it really depends on the coach.
So it is week 3. Okay.
I think it depends. I think it's a split. Like last year, some teams used week 2, some teams used week 3. I think it really depends on the coach and their mindset. I know for the Bucks and Colts, though, it seems like it will be week 3, but it all depends.
Next Saturday, Bucks Titans, NFL Network live, 7 p.m. Eastern.
And they'll be practicing together a couple times next week as well.
Mm-hmm.
In Tennessee, so that'll be fun. We'll see who. Last year, I remember.
You wonder how many guys are gonna play in that second game then. Week 3 is the 24th through the 30th. So most teams are playing on the 24th. There are some Saturday games. I didn't think they were doing Saturday games on that. So when you play that game, essentially you get 2 weeks until. Bobby, I'm looking here and seeing that the Titans are at home against Arizona in week 3 of the preseason.
Yes, they are,
going?
and they're having a joint practice too on the 24th.
Are you going?
I plan on it. Yep.
Okay.
How ironic is that? We got Titans, Cardinals, and Bucks Colts week 3 of the preseason, and I'll be at Bucks Colts that week. So hey,
That'll be fun. We'll have something to talk about then.
Yeah, exactly.
That's in Indy. Okay.
I'll be live from Indy that Saturday morning on the Armchair Quarterback Show.
And that they're not televising either one of those games. What the hell's going on that day? That what do they tell? They're televised. Rams Bengals. Okay, so Rams Bengals will be the televised game. That's August 27th. That's
Correct.
Florida State Duquesne, baby. I ain't got time for any of that nonsense. You watch a real football that day.
Yeah, I was going through that schedule yesterday. We got about 11 or 12 college football games that day, and every matchup at least has one herd of Division I team in it. So not the greatest competition that day, but you have Northwestern against Nebraska. You got U of I.
That might be the biggest game of the day. Northwestern.
Yeah, definitely.
Probably.
But hey, it's just good to have football because you got teams on like Florida State, North Carolina later in the day, then to cap it off. Not that it's great, but you do get Vanderbilt, Hawaii. So you get some good real football back on August 27th.
Yeah, Vanderbilt, Hawaii, the thing is it's kick off till 10:30. I mean, good God.
That's the one where you're down 300 on the day already, and you're like, oh, double or nothing on Hawaii. You wake up, you're $600 in the hole. You're like, what the hell did I do last night?
Yeah, right now Vanderbilt's a 7-point favorite in Hawaii.
Woo!
I'd be taking the Rainbows, man.
Yes, sir.
Well, Vanderbilt's going to go and they're tired. They're going to be sleeping.
Well, plus
Nope.
Vanderbilt sucks.
That too.
So what are they doing giving up? I don't care if they are an SEC school. They suck. They're giving up a touchdown and they're in Hawaii. No one ever plays well in Hawaii.
No, especially opening the year. Hawaii, for whatever reason, the first month or so plays better usually. So I think they're going to come out pretty fired up against, Vanderbilt, who will probably be up late studying for the school book the night
And
before.
Nebraska's a 12-point favorite right now against Northwestern in Northwestern.
That's a lot of points.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's in Dublin. Playing
Dublin.
that in Dublin?
I forgot about that. Now that you mention it, I kind of remember
What is
that.
everybody in Dublin?
That's wild. Hey, maybe that's interesting.
It's something.
Hey, nothing like putting Nebraska Northwestern on for the Dublin peeps. I mean, hey,
Folks in Ireland are like, what? They're not going to understand why people watch the sport. They're like, what the hell is this, dude? This is terrible.
don't you guys have real teams over there?
Quarterbacks throwing that 8-yard deep ball, it's going to be a terrible game. It's a weird time start too, 12:30.
Mm-hmm.
So 5:30 over there. They could have waited a couple hours, made that to 3 o'clock. That day, so that is 2 weeks from today. Man, that is hard to believe. 2 weeks from today, the slate that you're looking at, Wyoming, Illinois, okay, that's some kind, at least it's a bettable game. It's in Champaign, it's at 4 o'clock. Duquesne, Florida State's at 5 o'clock. That's on ACC Network, no line. I don't know if there will be a line on that game. Man, I'll tell you what, props to whoever comes up to the line on that game. Who comes up and figures out how much Florida State should be favored over Duquesne in week one when neither one have played a game.
That's one where you just throw a dart at a
And if
board.
that's one of those ones where they hit the nail on the head with the point spread, you're like, what the hell's going on, man? How did they do that? FAMU in North Carolina, that's the 8:15 kickoff ACC Network. Sud news. Ugh. I wish they would have put one marquee matchup on. Not even a marquee, but at least a couple of teams where you might where you might actually know who the starting quarterbacks are for each team.
Yeah, like a perfect example would have been like, you know, a Boise State BYU type game or something that night. Nothing too crazy, but something, you know, just to spark up interest a little bit or whatnot. I'm just happy we do have games to watch that day. I remember the COVID year, week 0 schedule was brutal, man. You had like D3 teams playing on that Saturday. It was like, who the heck just ran that ball? I didn't even know this college
I'm
exists.
glad Florida State's playing that first week because they got to go to LSU the second week, so at least they get something under their belt. But I don't know if what they see against Duquesne's going to get them prepared against LSU. That following weekend, which is the first weekend of which is the official weekend of the fantasy football drafts, right? And we'll be doing a live draft that day here on the show. It's the trophy league. There are actually some pretty good matchups that day.
Mm-hmm.
None of them are early though, man. I'm looking at the early slate. It is putrid. Okay, let's see. 3:30 ABC. This is a decent one. Tennessee, Pittsburgh. Although Pittsburgh's lost all their big players, Tennessee should boat race them.
Mhm.
But that night, I think it's 7:30 kickoff, somewhere in that neighborhood. It's right around the time that we're going to be trying to do that draft, Bobby. So 7 o'clock is Florida, Kentucky, ESPN. And I think it's 7:30 that the Notre Dame, well, maybe I've got it wrong. I don't see it here on the slate.
They play Ohio State that day, I want to say.
Yeah, I thought it was a night game, but I don't see it on my.
You would think it would be like, you know, the 6 or 6:30 kickoff. But I'm not. I do know they play that day.
I'll find it. I just don't see it right now for whatever reason.
I remember last year though when Ohio State opened up against Oregon and Oregon actually shocked them. I think that was an early game, so you never know what the heck these schedule makers have. But I find it hard to believe Notre Dame would be playing.
Maybe that's the following week because I see Notre Dame Marshall.
Could be. It could be oh yeah, actually it is week 2, I believe, McGee. You're right on that.
Okay.
I'm getting
well, I thought that was the big game. I thought that okay, so I'm dead wrong. So there's nothing on that night. Florida Kentucky's a decent matchup, but
or wait, it is 6:30 Central Time, so 7:30 Eastern on September 3rd. You got Notre Dame at Ohio State, and then Marshall Notre Dame is September 10th at 2:30 Eastern. So
ESPN's got this wrong essentially.
Yeah, ESPN is doing ESPN type.
Okay, I thought that game was on opening weekend, but
it's hard too with the week 0, week 1 stuff. It's like I know there's not huge matchups on, but to me it's still week 1. They call it week 0. It gets confusing. But I'm amped because Penn State opens September 1st, Thursday night football against Purdue. That's a pretty good matchup in my opinion.
Some good football.
Georgia, Oregon. September 3rd, 3:30 Eastern.
That's a good one. Probably going to be a Georgia win, but it'll be interesting.
See, that's crazy though. Like that's what makes college.
It does say Notre Dame, Ohio State, 7:30 Eastern on their big schedule, but when you go to the actual week by week schedule, they've got Notre Dame playing Marshall.
That's what
I guess maybe they flip flopped that and they just didn't update it on their site. Then Sunday night is Florida State, LSU. Monday night, Clemson, Georgia Tech. That's kind of a dud.
Kind of a fun game that not that it's like a great matchup, but that Friday night, September 2nd, Western Michigan, Michigan State, they always have a little fiery matchup when they play each other. Then you got U of I, Indiana that night, Eastern Kentucky, Eastern Michigan. You got a mini rivalry night that Friday night.
You're not going to convince me to watch some of these games you're mentioning.
No, these are ones that you're excited about now, but once the full slate and football gets rolling again, they kind of fade into the night. But
assuming what I'm looking at is actually true, that first real weekend of college football, September 1st is that Thursday, and then you roll in. See if they've even got a decent Thursday night game. They used to do that. I don't see anything jumping off the
Penn State. Yep, Penn State, Purdue.
So Purdue, Penn State, that's on Fox. that first Thursday night.
And West Virginia Pitt.
And West Virginia. And I love that they brought the rivalry back. I just wish Pitt and West Virginia were a little better, but Pitt's in a rebuild this year. That Friday night on the 2nd, Illinois, Indiana, TCU, Colorado. It could be worse, I guess. But that's Saturday. Make sure that Florida game is the time that Florida, Utah. So whatever the hell I was looking at was they got it all jacked up. Florida, Utah, 7:00. That should be a good matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a day game for some reason.
There's a lot of fun games that day.
Georgia, Oregon at 3:30.
That's early for that matchup.
I don't see a great matchup in the early, but I do see you've got Colorado State at Michigan at noon. These are all the early games. North Carolina at Appalachian State. That's just interesting because Appalachian State can get that ass. And Cincinnati, Arkansas at 3:30. Then Georgia, Oregon at 3:30. And a whole lot of snooze fest. BYU at South Florida. And then you go to the night games. The night games, they're the ones that I'll be paying attention to. Florida and Utah. Because you definitely want to see. And Bobby, I apologize. I didn't realize Florida was going to be playing where. So you're going to be like in the first quarter when that draft starts.
You're good. I'll probably just have it thrown on in the background on mute. So.
You'll have us on mute. That's what you're being. What the hell up, man? I'm trying to listen to what they're trying to say. If y'all were smart, because Carr's in that league, the two y'all would get together for that game.
Yeah, that could work. In the Florida offensive.
Oregon State boys.
Force him into hosting you and buying all the beer and everything. And then later on that evening, so you got the 7:00 game, Utah, Florida. That should be good. People don't realize this. Utah's supposed to be ranked top 10. I'm not buying it, but we'll see what they do against Florida. And then later on is the Alabama for once is playing a nobody. They're playing Utah State. I will say this for Alabama. They have been playing very good matchups to start the season off in recent memory. Notre Dame, Ohio State is 7:30. That's a really fun one. And I guess that's about it.
Not a bad one if you're up way late.
If you're an ACC fan, Louisville, Syracuse has some decent storylines that night, but you got to really be a fan to watch that crap.
Boise State, Oregon State isn't god awful for the nightcap.
Florida State, LSU is going to be interesting because there's a lot of people who have never really pulled for Florida State. They'll be pulling for Florida State that night, mainly because Brian Kelly's such an ass.
And that's the only game that day, I believe.
Can you imagine if he loses that game, man? It's in the Superdome, too. You imagine he loses that game to Florida State, who's been trashed the last couple of years. MSU goes out there, finds a way to beat him.
I don't know who I can root for in that one because I don't like Florida State, but they're not good enough to hate.
From the entertainment value alone, you got to pull for Florida State because if LSU wins, the top hat games are going to come out. Oh, we're in our first year. We're trying to figure things out. Da 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 da. And all of the LSU fans are going to be on suicide watch. Clemson, Georgia Tech. I would like to say that that's going to be a fun game. It's in the Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta. But man, Georgia Tech. Although Clemson was not good last year, you got to figure they've got to be better this year.
And I think Georgia Tech might have beat him or at least took him to the, top of the ropes last year. And that game's on a Monday night too. So, a little taste of Monday night football before NFL gets rolling. And that Florida State LSU game, that's a lot of fun because that's the only game on Sunday. Then you get it on Sunday night. So
plus Labor Day's the next day, so you can get blotto and not have to worry about being up early.
Correct. It's fun because it's like Sunday night football. It has that big game feel to it with Labor Day the next day as well.
Yeah, I'm very thankful that is on a Sunday night, so I don't have to. I mean, the Labor Day is the next day, so I'm off work because they were just going to get a really bad version of me, is what they were going to get.
You'd be off work essentially one way or another. It's just if you're physically there or not.
Yeah, that should be a fun week of college football. That first week, like, it's cool to have it on, but it would be nicer if there was like one decent matchup.
And I think in years past they did. I remember when Miami was supposed
Miami
to
and Florida did it that one year, but it was, I think they were one of the first ones to do it. Did they even have early games last year? Do you remember?
I think they had a handful, and like I said, I remember one of the years. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, but it was a really bad slate because of everything coming back from COVID and whatnot. So you were getting like Prairie View A&M on ESPN for week 0 Saturday night. It was just
it's a little surprising that more teams didn't do what Florida State did. If you're playing a big matchup that first week, that you put some bozo the week before on that August 27th date just to kind of get you warmed up and ready to roll.
Yeah, get your toes wet a little bit.
Because Ohio State and Notre Dame, they're not playing that first week, so you don't know what you're going to get when you actually get out there. And that Ohio State game, I mean, that's under the bright lights Saturday night. All the attention's going to be on that game nationwide. You don't know if you're going to get just a dud or an absolute shootout.
And that's an elimination game for Notre Dame week 1.
And most of those, most of the preseason polls actually have Notre Dame in their top 5, top 10, which surprises me. I'm a little surprised to see Notre Dame that high. They lost quite a bit, and and they're going into a new coaching staff, which I know he's been there, but still. In that first game, like you said, it's an elimination game. Well, they could probably absorb that loss, run the table, and still get to the playoffs.
Yeah, they could crawl their way back in, but they'd have to win out.
Well, the thing that hinders them too is they never have the chance at a conference championship as well. So say the cards line up in their favor, they will have.
The other way you look at it too, though, if they pull off that win, they've got that under their belt the rest of the year. And you look at Notre Dame's schedule. Maybe this has something to do with what. This is why everyone's got them ranked so high. They don't play anybody. Marshall, Cal, at North Carolina, but remember Carolina's replacing a lot of players. BYU, Stanford, and UNLV all at home. At Syracuse has been terrible. At home against Clemson, that's their only other decent matchup other than the at Southern California. So they essentially have 3 big games. If Notre Dame wins 2 of those 3, they're going to have an argument to get into the playoffs, whether it's legitimate or not.
Right. Fighting Irish coming out swinging. You don't really ever too typically see that first week being a big matchup for Notre Dame, but new coach, I know they make the schedule way early in advance, but new coach, new strategy. We'll see if it pays off for Notre Dame to play Ohio State week 1.
That's going to be a rough one. I don't know. And Ohio State's returning a lot of guys, and it's in Ohio State. I think the biggest thing Notre Dame's got to look at is you don't want to get blown out in that game. If you lose close, you'll always have that argument. It's the first game of the season. You lose 48-7. I don't care. I don't care when we play today. You're never going to leapfrog Ohio State.
Right.
They've got to get in the conference. That's all there is to it. What's your walk-off, Tones?
Just enjoy the Saturday, fellas. We got a lot of good baseball warming up. If you look at the NL and AL wild cards and playoff pictures right now, there's a lot of craziness going on, including the Astros taking first place in the AL, the Orioles jumping the Rays in the playoff picture. You got the Padres kind of in a free fall in the NL, and the Phillies are trying to move their way up. Milwaukee's trying to stay alive. So as the pennant races come down to the wire in baseball, football is kind of blossoming up like a flower as well. So we have a beautiful start to one sport and we're nearing a beautiful end of the other sport. Favorite time of year as a sports fan. And really, if you're lucky enough where your baseball team's still alive and in it, enjoy it because it's already halfway through August. You're not going to get a lot of baseball left. And before you know it, football will be on the television. So get your fantasy drafts in for football. You only got you got like a little less than a month at this point, but just exciting time of year as a sports fan, fellas. I can't wait.
Huge part of the year when you look at the Phillies, they're playing the Mets this weekend. They also play them again next weekend.
Wow.
So it was huge for them to get that win tonight because last night they beat Scherzer. Today they got to play DeGrom, and then tomorrow it's Bassett. Now the good news for them next weekend, they're going to miss both Scherzer and DeGrom. So if they can find a way to win one of these next two games, they should be in good shape next week. And the Mets, by the way, they're going to play the Phillies for 3, the Braves for 4, and then back in Philadelphia.
And it's kind of fun to see that NL division kind of took the torch from the NL West. And to me, that's by far the best NL division in baseball right now. So I'm excited to see the Braves, Phillies, and Mets duke it out down the stretch, kind of to see who remains on top. Because I feel like whoever comes out of that division will be representing the National League in the World Series, whether it's Braves, Mets, or Phillies, whoever makes it the farthest.
All right, we'll see you next week. We'll be back in a flash. Steven's joining us, and we're going to do a best ball draft.
On the Armchair quarterbacks, Justin Waller and Mac McGee are back at it every Friday evening right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel and your local CBS Sports affiliates. We're talking the NFL, Major League Baseball, Southern football. It's going to be a cold one. It's finally Friday on the Armchair Quarterbacks. Waller and McGee getting you ready for your sports weekend.
If only the world was less like this.
I could use a smoke.
Hey, put that out. And more like this.
I could use a smoke.
You heard. Must you chill first. If you're around a smoker, you will die. Smokers may look relaxed and like they're having fun. Don't believe it. Vote yes on Proposition 421. Let's outlaw smoking everywhere, even in people's homes, and allow honest citizens to legally kill anyone who smokes. Let's live in a world without smokers. Prohibition works. Let's prove it. It's time to smoke the smokers. Vote yes on Proposition 421.
Join the Armchair Quarterback Show for its 9th season. And this year, we're doing it all in one show. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, we'll be talking college football, the SEC, the Big Ten, other big games of the day. We'll be diving into the National Football League, focusing on the Southern football teams and all the big matchups throughout the land. Doing it while covering the point spreads, the over-unders, the prop bets. Fantasy football will tell you who to start and who to sit. And everybody's favorite, the stupid underdog picks. We'll cover Major League Baseball all the way through October and beyond. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern and noon Eastern, Saturday mornings on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel. Hey Braves fans, the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel are bringing you Braves baseball all season long. Hi, I'm Mac McGee, and I'll be bringing you Braves baseball play-by-play for the Braves fans out there, for all of Braves country. So pull up an armchair, join us for Braves country baseball, first pitch to last pitch, Tuesday and Friday nights, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel.
Play for the love of the game, man. What's wrong with you, bro? That should not be a thing.
Bro, I'm risking my life. So imagine how nice do I work hard for the about days. You only jump one.
All right, we are back. I was trying to message Steven, but I couldn't get the message to put. I don't know what's going on with the app. Steven,
What's going on?
are you on the best ball site right now?
Give me 2 seconds and I will be.
That's why I didn't jump in one because I knew this would be going on. We're trying to get in a draft real quick. I see one available. Oh, wait a minute. That's a freaking, never mind. That's a long draft. See, I don't want to sit in a. I didn't notice that the one.
No, are we doing regular or best ball?
Not doing best ball because they don't have any of the cheaper ones. I was looking at either a $3 or a $5 one, but they're still really far away. Damn. This is going to make it difficult. And some of the ones that are available are all long drafts. Let's go ahead and just try to get in one and see if some folks will jump in. You want to do the $5 10-person one? You see that one?
Underdog or Yahoo?
Underdog.
Oh, I was on Yahoo. Give me a second.
Bobby, what do you want to talk about?
Do you see the Desean Watson chance? See anything about that?
Yes.
That was good
Jacksonville
to see.
fans gave him hell, didn't they?
Yep, it's good to see for your fan base.
Yeah. I think Cleveland's going to find out that they made a big mistake there. First
Probably.
of all, I fully suspect that he's going to get suspended for most of this year, if not all of it. So by the time he comes back, he's going to be like 3 years removed.
I think he's going to be looking at about 12-game suspension.
Would you say 12?
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing.
That's what I think it's going to be too.
I mean, like, do you think they're going to fine him as well? As I'm not, like I saw his counter was like the 8 months and a $5 million fine.
I think it's going to be closer to 10, to be honest with you.
10
Yes.
plus the 12 games, or
12 games, $10 million fine. That's
could be it.
I think that's the bar that would make the NFL. They wouldn't be happy, but they'd be okay with it.
I mean, basically, well, I mean, like the biggest problem with the NFL is the MLB kind of set a new precedence with Trevor Bauer. And I mean, Trevor Bauer was, I think, I mean, I'm not trying to downplay anything, but it was, 2 to 3 accusers, if I remember correctly. And we got Desean Watson with like 20 plus. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure.
Settled with all but one. I didn't, but the other thing is, I don't look at what Desean Watson is doing in any light compared to what Bauer did, because it's 2 different leagues, and the Major League Baseball is just, they're stricter. They're worried about their brand. The NFL feels like that they're made of Teflon and they can put any kind of creep out there on the field and you'll be fine with it.
No, I mean, everything I've been hearing is Goodell is like he wants a minimum of 1 year indefinite ban. He wants to really set a new precedence with this, and that's kind of where the conflict is coming into play.
As much as he may want that, does he have a leg to stand on for it? That's my question.
Yeah,
are you
it's
not
probably not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Okay, so I'm trying to find something that's at least got some participants. Go to the $3 one, the 12 person. That looks like that's got the most participants. I'm going to jump into it. I'm glad I didn't jump into that other one. That other one, I wasn't paying attention at the time. It was a
slow draft.
It was a slow draft, but I don't need to be in another one of those damn things.
You got seven waiting for 7 people.
Is that what we're waiting on? Waiting for 7. We'll just see how this goes, I guess. Give it a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen so people can see what we're looking at. You may have to move. I'm trying to pull up the rest with see. Well, while I'm figuring this out, what y'all's thoughts on everything that happened in preseason football last night?
I was about to say, I was about to ask about Zach Wilson. I just saw that he it's looking like it is not an ACL tear for him, so that is really going to change things up. I mean, last night it was, basically Jimmy.
That would have been brutal for Jets fans, man. I did not want to, and I'm not a Jets fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I did not want to see that.
No, I mean definitely long term. Like no, I mean like that is not anything you want to see for a player or for that franchise. But honestly, I think Jimmy G may be better for them this year. I still think Zach Wilson's a little bit away from truly being a quarterback that can take a team any place anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure what Jets fans' expectations are this year.
Looks like we're getting close. So I guess we'll just stay here. There's only 5 needed now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, I mean, one thing that stuck out to me last night, I mean, one of the guys, like this one guy I've been kind of high on in the preseason, but he is on the radar now. Romeo Doubs from Green Bay. He had that beautiful touchdown from Jordan Love last night. He's been getting praised left and right from everybody in Green Bay. There is such a vacancy for targets. We have no idea how things are going to shake up. And it's like best ball redraft, whatever. I am taking any kind of stab I can at Romeo Doubs. He's going as like a 14th or round pick or later.
I think he's a great guy to grab in dynasty leagues.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, he's like the perfect pickup in dynasty league.
Yeah, I would just, we talked about this earlier. I would caution anyone drafting him high, because there's going to be people who are going to reach on him now after the performance. Remember, Aaron Rodgers wasn't the quarterback. So you don't know who Aaron Rodgers is going to actually gel with. And it could be him. It could be Watson. Hell, he may feel more comfortable with one of the veterans that he has in camp.
You know if Watson's healthy yet? I know he was. Is Watson healthy yet?
Don't believe so.
I know he had some type of surgery.
He's very close to practicing. But remember, Sammy Watkins, came over. I mean, and he's had high praise for all of them. So, the other guy from last night, Gray, had 99 yards, 76 on that one long touchdown catch. All right, it looks like we've actually got a draft here, Steven. So you have, well, what's the name of your team? I don't know what I'm looking for.
You know the name of my team.
Is it Trosh or something?
Texas Trosh. I'm drafting 8.
Oh, there you are. I don't know what I was looking for. Okay. All right, so I got the 3rd pick in the draft. As y'all can see, is going to be starting in 30 seconds here. When they start drafting, I'm going to flip like that so you can get a better look at it. Let me see if I can change this up a little bit and actually put a share on just a portion of the screen, make it where people can see a much better view of it. Okay. So this will be, folks should be able to see this pretty good, I would think.
As long as you get the top, like all 12 teams, we're good.
But it's going to be difficult to do all 12 the way this thing is set up. I'm just going to try to about like this.
Whoever got the number 2 pick looked out.
Yeah, who are you going with, Dave?
Okay, so Taylor's gone. And I got to close this thing so I can actually see who's available. I'm going to play it safe and go Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, you can't really go wrong there.
Go back to this. I'm going to try to keep it on this as much as possible, but when it gets a couple of picks away from mine, I've got to open it up. So for folks that are just joining us, we're doing a best ball draft, 12-man league. And if you never played best ball before, essentially you do the draft and that's it. There's no pickups, there's no trades, there's no starting your lineup. All you do is you get the best points available that week.
Coming up here, me and 2 picks. I've been picking from the 8th slot or later so much. I already know it's going to be one of.
Who are you eyeing? Like, who do you hope falls to you?
I know one of Henry or Dalvin Cook's going to fall. I'm not going to. I've been like lower and lower on Dalvin as the season gets closer. It's just the injury thing. I mean, talent wise, we know he's one of the best in the league. I just can't get over the missing multiple games a year, every single year.
And these are half-point PPRs, y'all, in case you're curious about the scoring system.
Well, Diggs just went. I'm going to just play it safe here. Right. I've been getting Derrick Henry in almost as many best ball drafts as I can. I mean,
he's valued at 8.
Oh yeah, I mean he is like if Derrick Henry is healthy, he is going to be top running back.
Last year he was going second and third, right?
Yeah, I mean he was on track for being the top player in fantasy again if he didn't get hurt.
Juice MIA took McCaffrey first. I just wonder if that's maybe he's in a lot of leagues and already has a lot of Jonathan Taylors, because I can't fathom why you would draft McCaffrey over Taylor.
Yeah.
Because like you're playing in a best ball, and you're like when you're drafting these, you're assuming that your team's going to be healthy. And if like all things considered, a healthy C-Mac is probably the best fantasy player available. He has the highest.
Jonathan Taylor was really good last year.
Oh yeah, Taylor was really good last year, but the last time Christian McCaffrey was healthy, he put up one of the best fantasy seasons ever seen. It was like literally one of the top 5 most fantasy points scored in history.
I'll tell you what, this guy right here, Austin Eckler, I think he's being valued way too high. Because you look at his touchdowns that he scored last year, that was the outlier. He's typically scoring 6 to 8 touchdowns a year. He had 20 touchdowns last year, so everyone's jumping on it. But you can see regression heading his way big time.
I can see it because of age, but I don't know. I like him. I like his receiving upside, and he seemed to, he got in the end zone quite a bit last year. So
I'm not even saying his production, yards, et cetera, are going to fall. I'm just saying things have to fall perfectly for you to get that many touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
No, I completely agree there. I mean, the main thing he's got going for him is not many little competition at running back.
Even Barkley on the way back down, so you went running back.
Yeah, I mean Saquon has been like an auto smash in the second round for me. I mean he's looking like as healthy as ever. Like last year, he just still didn't have that extra gear that really made him Saquon. And so Pittman just went in the middle of the second round. That
was confusing.
I don't disagree with it, but that's the highest I've seen him go all draft season.
I'm hoping. Well, no, I will. I'll get a running back here. So I'm going to go ahead and take Kamara.
Yeah, that's easy smash.
I just feel like, I took Kupp with the first pick. If I would have taken a running back with the first pick, then I would have been looking at either Hill or Higgins right there. But it's coming back to me here in a second, so I'm going to leave it on this view, and then I'll get back out. So now when it comes back to me, what I'm looking at is I've got a running back, I've got a receiver. I'm just going to take the best player available. Right? I don't feel like I'm pigeonholed into. I thought about taking Mark Andrews there, but if you do that, then you feel like you have to grab a running back in the third round. And if a run goes in between my picks, I could end up with something. I could be really reaching there.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I get Andrews, I feel like only in best ball, I feel like I have to get Lamar Jackson.
Whoever got Tyreek Hill at the end of round 2, that was a good pick.
I don't know. I'm so conflicted on the Tyree's value. I mean, we know what kind of player he is, but what is the volume going to be? I mean, that's the main question. What's the volume going to be?
I tell you, Mike McDaniel, he is one of the best schemers in the league. I think he's going to find a great way to use Tyreek Hill. He may not be having as good of a deep thrower throwing to him, but he'll get Tyreek involved, I think, for sure.
Oh no, he will definitely be schemed, but I mean, he's got.
Mhm.
I mean, like they have Waddle in that offense, and then like that Hill Waddle combo is going to make Gesicki wide open almost every single play, and I mean, it's just there's gonna be so many options, so many places to go. Is Tyreek going to get the volume to where he's going to pay off a second round, third round?
So I'm picking now, and I'm going to go take the guy I haven't taken much of. I'm taking AJ Brown. Mainly because the reason why I've stayed away from him is I've been a little leery of the production he might get. But Jalen Hurts looked pretty good last night, and if he ends up being the beneficiary of that, I'll feel pretty good about my pick there.
Yeah, it's coming.
My only problem with AJ is just how he's not going to have that luxury of having a running back who's going to be going up against like 9-man boxes and stuff. He'll be
trying to tell me that Miles
have a
Sanders
lot more
is not
focus.
as good as Derrick Henry.
I am telling you that.
I will tell you that.
All right, so I'm up right now. Oh, man, I've gone Kyle Pitts a lot in this spot, and it is very tempting to secure that top tight end. But I am going to get a receiver here. I'm going to go a little bit against the grain. I have not gotten a lot of Cortland Sutton, so going to get a piece of.
I think I would too, and I'll tell you why, Trosh. If you really want Pitts, he'll probably be available to you when it comes back down.
No.
Never mind.
Oh no, I knew he wasn't going to be that was my chance to get Pitts.
I didn't think they would go on such a quick tight end run.
Oh no, yeah, that's underdog. Like those top 3 tight ends are gone by by the end of the third round. Every single
time. Gets to that, then I just look for tight ends that either A, I can couple with my quarterback, or B, guys that are mid-range, and I try to grab a couple of them and just hope one of them has a decent week each week. Oh yeah, no, I mean my strategy right now is if I don't get one of those top 3 in Kelsey, Andrews, or Pitts, I'm waiting until the end of the top 10, maybe I'll take a stab at Dallas Goedert, but I'm Zach Ertz and down. I think I'm just really not liking the price tag of that mid-range tight ends. Dallas Goedert got his back broken last night. Did you see that? Yeah. He went over. I was like, no, I've got way too many shares of him in best ball. Yeah. What are you doing risking your life, man? It's preseason. All right, so I got a question here. With all the injury to or the possibility of the injury of Zach Wilson, how does that affect how you feel about Breece Hall? I haven't felt very good about Breece Hall from the jump. I think he's going way too high. I think he's been overvalued. Not that I don't think he's a good running back, but a running back for the for the New York Jets. Mm-hmm. Man, I just have a hard time drafting a Jets running back that quick. We got this same hype with Michael Carter last year at this time. Yep. I mean, Hall definitely has the talent. One thing right off the bat, he's got 4 games against the Bills and the Patriots, who are 2 of the best run defenses in the league. Miami was much improved. I don't know if that's going to continue, but if those gains continue, that's 6 games against top half rush defenses. Some really good receivers sitting out there.
I do like Breece, but I think I'm not picking him until.
Yeah, I mean, he's going around the same ADP as running back wise. Cam Akers, Elijah Mitchell got hurt last night, but J.K. Dobbins just went. Oh wow!
I like
just got hurt
again.
Yeah,
I'm not picking Mitchell
until regular season.
I'm not picking him. The injuries are just unreal.
What's the deal with Mitchell?
Hamstring.
Jeez, that guy's blast.
It's nothing major. It's just
he never is with him.
Yeah, it's always every other week. It's something new. Yeah, that's the concern.
Yeah, he's not playing in the preseason, but he's expected to be ready week 1.
Oh, I thought he got hurt last night. Okay.
No,
I thought they actually put him in. I was like, what? I've got the game on. I've got the Jets game and I've got the Packers game on right now.
I like that Etienne pick at 43. I think he's gonna have a solid year.
Yeah, I was going to say something, but we were talking. I was going to say something to Steven that you should think about ETN at that point, but I like that pick as well that you got. So now it comes to me. I feel like
Hollywood.
I'm going to go Marquise Brown. What the hell?
Yeah.
I've been getting a lot of Hollywood too.
Let's go for the ceiling.
Like, like one of my favorite stacks, like early on, was I'd get Marquise and then Kyler and then either Hopkins or Rondale or Zach Ertz. I like basically two of those with Kyler.
I've got too many shares of too many guys that are right here in this area.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like if he's there when you pick again, Juju's got to be like an automatic.
Yeah, I think I know what I'm going to do. Oh, crap. This kind of falls really bad where it's at.
Yeah, there's no running back I'd touch here.
There's not a running back I'd touch. And if I go quarterback, can either go Hurts or Murray. I'll go ahead and grab Murray for this one.
I'm interested to see where Michael Thomas goes.
I've got
To me, when I draft next.
I've got Marquise Brown, but also have AJ Brown. I could have grabbed either one of them, been okay with it, but
Yeah, I mean, there was basically who you're higher on at quarterback, and you gave the answer to Tyler.
yeah, that's a good question. Honestly, probably a little higher on Hurts. I've got a lot of shares of Hurts. I've only got one or two Murray shares, so that's why I went with Murray. Plus, I don't have a lot of teams where I have Marquise Brown and Kyler Murray.
True. There goes Juju. And he's been like everything I've been seeing is he's been the dominant receiver of Chiefs camp. And Michael Thomas stayed.
There you go.
I
He's
have
been lighting it up in camp.
I have so many teams.
Michael Thomas this season, aren't you?
I have so many teams with Saquon, Allen Robinson, and Michael Thomas together. I mean, it is not even funny.
I like the Cortland Sutton pick, though. We didn't really go over that, but I like that pick. And hopefully, oh, God, what's his name? Hopefully, Russell will fall to you. He's still out there, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, I love the Sutton pick, but I kind of love the value of Jerry
If you
Jeudy.
can get Russell and then later in the draft get Jameis, you're kind of sitting pretty with that.
Oh, yeah. No, that's the goal. But no, I mean, as much as I love Sutton, I really think that Judy's an underrated pick. I mean, coming into the draft, like whenever he came into the league, I mean, he was on par or better in some minds, like in people's minds, than CeeDee Lamb. And now he's getting discounted to almost a 5th round pick here with Russell. I mean, I think there's just people are really like overlooking the floor and ceiling combination there.
I'll tell you, with that Allen Robinson pick, there's been good news about him in camp, right? Like I think I might be wrong, but I thought I heard about him doing well in camp.
And if you really wanted to punt it, you could get Stafford. I know people are gun shy about Stafford. It's the same injury he had last year. No, by the way, the guy won the Super Bowl.
I mean, he's got tendonitis. Like, all it is just a recurring injury of inflammation. It's not anything.
I mean, honestly, I just feel like all that's going to be something he's going to have to manage the rest of his career, and he'll be okay.
Oh yeah, no, tendonitis is like that doesn't go away. I mean, like once you have it, that's a chronic illness for the rest of your life. I mean, but like also at the very worst, it's just, ow, my shoulder's really inflamed. That's the worst it is. I mean, I've been living with it for 15 years now. Definitely as much different as a professional quarterback, but the injury itself is all pain management. If you can manage the pain well, there's no real risk for additional injury.
And I mean, thankfully for him, he's only got to play once a week. He's not.
Oh yeah.
It's not a knee injury on an NBA player, right?
Well, it's that, and just people will forget when he was in Detroit how many just nasty injuries that dude had, and he just never came off the field. He had all his back injuries, and he was still playing week in, week out, still playing as a top 15 quarterback. I mean, that dude's going to be one of those guys who come time, it's going to be real hard to keep him out of the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah. His Super Bowl championship just put him in the Hall.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm up
Because he already had a career that you could have argued with it, but someone would have always said, yeah, he was on some really bad teams. Well, he finally got on a good team, and
Mhm.
I think it'll be really different. Considering the fact the bar is so low in the NFL Hall of Fame compared to like the Baseball Hall of Fame, I just think he's a shoe-in at this point.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. So I mean,
It's,
like,
not,
I guess
it's not as low as the basketball. The Basketball Hall of Fame, I mean, pretty much if you're pretty good at pickup games, you got a chance.
all right, just one I like one small question. How do you compare his Hall of Fame case to Phillip Rivers and Matt Ryan?
Super Bowl.
He's actually got a championship.
Mhm.
So
No,
this-
I know, but I like, but the collective careers of those two, and at this point, I think outweighs what Stafford has done. Just even taking into account the Super Bowl.
hated
I
doing
don't know, I-
it here because I'm not a big fan of David Montgomery, but I didn't have another running back, so I felt like I had to grab one.
No, I still would have let him sit there. I am out on David Montgomery in every way, shape, or form.
I'll tell you, Montgomery and Jacobs, they've both taken a dive in those ADPs.
Mhm.
Well,
I mean, they used to be like third round picks at one point.
Was to
my
get
game
Hopkins.
plan is kind of falling apart, but I think I'm going to grab Tony Pollard because I think he's going to snipe a lot of stuff from. So I got Pollard, Montgomery, and Alvin Kamara. Oh man, the other thing I didn't notice is that Montgomery and Kamara have the same bye week.
Week 14.
Yeah, not that that's that big a deal, but
You better hope that's not a playoff determining game.
no, the playoffs start in week 15.
Mm. Well, I'm just saying, like, one that you need to win to get in.
Well, then I guess I need to be good in the first 13 weeks. Trosh is on the clock now, and
I didn't. I thought I was still waiting. So I mean, Russell Wilson is here.
look at
Well,
Trosh.
I'm gonna let him go, and you're gonna be super confused.
Who'd you grab?
You got Miles Sanders.
Sanders. Okay.
Am I super confused, or is it you that's super confused?
No, I mean, I'm still not sure if I view Russell as a top 10 quarterback, let alone a top 7 where he's being, or top 9 where he's being drafted right now. And I'd rather take the 3-round savings on Stafford, Jameis, even maybe like a stab at Kirk Cousins, and get that running back depth. So I mean, it kind of thins out in a little bit.
I'm banking on the fact that I think Zeke is pretty much done, and I think Tony Pollard will be getting the lion's shares of the touches by midway through the season.
Oh, I agree. If it was between Pollard and Sanders in my pick, it would have been Pollard 10 times out of 10. But
would you have taken Antonio Gibson over Sanders?
He was there and I didn't. So he wasn't. He was picked right before. No, I was going Sanders all the way. I love Gibson as a player. I'm just so unsure of that situation. If he starts dropping to maybe like the 9th round, closer to like the start of the season, I'll take a few stabs, but I'm not.
I know you and Sean were all about him last year. I mean, y'all were like this far away from like, wearing t-shirts with him, let's face on it. And I can't. Once again, it comes down to I don't want a running back on a team that I feel like is not going to be leading games.
Understandable.
You put James Conner on a bad team, you don't want him in fantasy, but he's on a pretty good offense in Arizona, and James Conner is going to produce.
Well, the allure last year of Gibson was he was a receiver in college. There wasn't really any competition in that backfield, or so we thought. So it was hey, even if they're down, he's going to be getting a lot of catches out of the backfield. He's still going to be on the field, but that didn't pan out last year, and I'm out until I see it.
So you got Murray. Wait a minute, this is the wrong team. Keeps changing like that. You got Henry, Barkley, Sanders, Sutton, Robinson, Thomas, and Thielen. No quarterback, no tight end. Where are you going?
I am going to go Hunter Renfro. Just get a little more depth at receiver. I mean, for best ball, I like once I got my 2 running backs, I'm trying to just stack receivers as much as possible. So I mean, that's really where you're going to win your leagues. And like I've been seeing a lot of tight ends that I'm comfortable with outside the top 10. So I mean, if I don't get those, like I said, if I don't get those top 3, I don't feel a need to be forcing one at any point in the draft, really.
I'm 1 pick away, and looking at what I've got here, I'm just going to go best available at this point. I don't feel like I have to make a move. Pretty sure I know where I'm going on my pick after this one, because he's not going to make it back to me 3 picks from now.
Going Hawkinson?
No.
Treylon?
Damn it, I wanted Penny in that slot. I guess I'll go ahead and take Treylon Burks. I don't have many shares of him. I'm a little iffy on him. Rookie wide
I
receiver.
worry about Penny a bit, honestly.
He's already hurt.
Yeah, with the injury, and then they said Carroll said something about how he thinks Walker's ready to be a 3-down back already. So I have a little bit of creeping in.
Well, I mean, just like the secret sauce to playing, like getting early playing time as a rookie running back is pass protection, and he was lauded for his pass protection in Michigan State. I mean, like the receiving. I mean, like there are plenty of there are better receiving backs in this draft, but I think Walker is still one of the most complete, including the blocking aspect. And yeah, I mean that's all any coach wants to see at this point. If you can catch passes and gain yards, that's an added bonus.
So I'm going to go ahead and get my tight end. Zach Ertz is the top one available, and I couple it with my quarterback. I can't believe this one guy's already drafted 2 damn tight ends.
I mean, I can see it where he doesn't have to draft a tight end. That's it. He can just focus on running back and receiver.
But he's only got 2 receivers.
There goes Ken Walker. That's who I was looking at for this pick. But
Stevens pick, still don't have a quarterback.
And I do now.
You're gonna go Carr. Okay.
I think Carr has a higher ceiling than Stafford. I mean, I really think that offense is going to take the next step. And Carr, I've long been high on Carr as a.
I've done that several times. Have the Carr Renfro matchup on best ball.
Yeah, I mean, like if I didn't pick Renfro, it was going to be Stafford, but I don't know. I saw him sitting there, and I just couldn't resist. All right, so coming back up to me in a minute. I have 3 running backs, 5 receivers, and 1 tight end. So let's see who's out there at running back. So I'm not touching Singletary. So it's Singletary, Dameon Pierce, Isaiah Spiller, Darrell Henderson. Out of those, I'm more interested in Spiller and Henderson at this point. So I'm probably going to go either receiver or tight end.
I like Dameon Pierce, and I hate to be
I do too. I know that probably surprises you, but I do. I like his upside in that backfield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's a very weak backfield, and he seemed to have taken charge.
Yeah, they're saying it's Mack and Burkhead at the top of but that ain't gonna last.
No.
Burkhead, get the hell out of here.
Pierce, he's been showing out in camp, and he may be lower on the depth chart now, but I think given time, he'll be taking over that running back 1 spot.
Rex Burkhead, I mean, look, kudos to him to have this career that he's had as long as he's had it, but only time he sneaks in and gets you some yards because people forget about him. He's so damn short. So you got your tight end Komet. Now, will you go and try to get Fields later in the draft, or are you just not going to worry about it?
No, because Fields is going to be right in the. He's not going to fall to my next pick, and he's not going to fall to my next pick, and I wouldn't want to use my next pick on him anyway. I'd rather wait the few extra rounds and get Jameis.
I'm worried about Fields regardless of who you have. I don't know. I mean, he maybe end up being a good quarterback one day, but that offense is just putrid.
I mean, I have plenty of shares of Fields in best ball.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way this draft is panning out, I don't feel a need to go after him at this range. I do think he has true upside as a top 12 as a QB1. But will he get there this year? Like you said, is the question.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Dave, you're up in two picks. What are you looking at?
Looking at what's going to be available, the best player available, I'm not going to go quarterback. They're all crapshoots at this point. If Tolbert is there, I would take a chance on him.
Oh wow, you got Dobbs. I didn't even see that.
But he just went, so I guess that answers my question on that. Running back, man.
Madison's sitting there.
I guess I'm gonna
give Gallup a shot. I think when he's healthy, he'll be that wide receiver too in that offense.
I'm gonna take an upside with Spiller.
Okay.
Just because I need some running back depth. I was really hoping to get what I'm banking on is injury.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was looking at Henderson too, because I mean, it's the same thing with Cam Akers. Do we think he's going to be healthy? Do we think he's going to be at the level level he was pre-injury? All right, so it brings me up right now, and this is just nasty. I don't know what I want to do here. I want to throw up. That's what I want to do. No, I'm just going to go receiver. I'm going to take BPA and get Gallup.
When he's healthy, I like that pick. I think when he gets back into it, he'll probably take over that wide receiver 2 spot in Dallas. I think it's good value.
Well, in that, and there's going to be volume to there to feed multiple receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you're typically going to see a 3 wide receiver set anyways, and Tolbert's going to be on the field quite a bit. But yeah, Gallup will, in a perfect world, in a lot of leagues, I've grabbed Gallup and Tolbert. And then that way, Jets quarterback Zach Wilson to miss up to 4 weeks, torn meniscus and bone bruise in his knee, which means he will not be able to be on the field week 1, I wouldn't think. It says 2 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the bone bruise earlier. That I think they were still waiting on confirmation for the meniscus, but even still, that's better than the torn ACL they were thinking last night.
Mm-hmm.
Still makes me kind of weary, though. I mean, how is that knee going to be a problem all season now?
The Jets, they're at home against Baltimore week 1. So actually, that's one of the best case scenarios you could have, because that's a team in Baltimore that plays close to the vest. You don't have to worry about any kind of a shootout. But will they be the ones that go out and grab Jimmy Garoppolo now?
Who else is going to? If another team truly wanted him, they would have gotten him.
Maybe. I guess Cleveland's confident in
the next quarterback that's going to go down.
I mean, the Jets are the logical choice, not even by the injury, but the connection with Robert Saleh.
What about the Giants?
So I think Daniel Jones will do all right this year. Not enough to show he's worthy of anything, but enough to where they.
I don't typically like Cowherd, but he said something pretty funny yesterday, reacting to the Giants game. He said, "Do you know what Daniel Jones looks like to me? Daniel Jones looks like a quarterback who played at Duke. I'm sorry if that was funny. And normally I don't like him. He's a shock jock. He's a jackass, but that was funny as hell.
Yeah.
Because I don't trust anything he says about college football because he is a Pac-12 homer from way back. But that was funny as hell. I thought he was going to have some deep analysis or whatever. It was a video I saw on his other Facebook or TikTok or whatever. I fell out when I saw that.
I really wanted to go George Pickens there. He's been the star of Steelers camp. And I mean, there's Claypool's been dealing with injuries and there's going to be some targets to go around. But I wanted to get that running back depth. I got Kenneth Gainwell. I've been super high on him all offseason. He's going to have a role in this offense regardless. And I mean, it's really, I mean, running back, there's James Robinson worth a look. Actually, you're up right now. You go.
I'm taking Herbert. That's only because I have Montgomery and I want depth.
I was gonna say Herbert's one of my big targets in this range, but it's basically down to him, Robinson. Ronald Jones is gonna get cut, I think. And that's just a crap show out of there. Jamal Williams, he's a great. I love him. I love his upside. They're really trying to manage Swift's workload, and he's just kind of the on-field leader for that Lions team. But other than that, it's really Isaiah Pacheco and Marlon Mack.
So I like Pacheco late in the draft. I think he has a chance to get some decent reps.
Well, he's one of those players you got to get him while you can. I mean, Wednesday his ADP was like 210. Now it's 177. I mean, he's lying up draft boards.
So I took Trevor Lawrence there as my backup quarterback.
No, Jameis just went. Dude doesn't even have anybody on his team. Doesn't even have
man, it'll drive you crazy.
He has 4 receivers, and he drafts Jameis as his second quarterback with Josh Allen. Why?
Thanks for the donation, buddy.
Well, I mean, that just means I get George Pickens right there. I'm happy with it.
What's up?
All right, so now I'm going to be oh, no, I misplayed that. Kirk Cousins is already gone. Well,
so we're in the 13th round, going to turn. When it makes the turn to Steven, we'll be heading to the 14th. So you got 5 picks left, essentially.
Yep. Man, I don't know what I'm going to do here. Quarterback-wise.
You've got 1 quarterback, 4 receivers, 7 receivers, 4 running backs, a tight end. Quarterbacks available. Who do you have as far as receivers go?
Cortland Sutton, Robinson, Michael Thomas, Thielen, Renfro, Gallup, and George Pickens.
Quarterback-wise, I think I would probably go Matt Ryan of those that are left.
I'm thinking Jones just for the rushing upside. Matt Ryan, yes, I think he'll be good. I think I'll take Matt Ryan. No, I'm not gonna be able to stack him with who I want. I was gonna try to go for Alex Pierce, but he's not gonna be there to play.
You could play the long game to get Zach Wilson at the end because nobody's drafting him because he's gonna miss that first game.
Yeah, but I didn't want him when he was healthy. Why do I want him now?
All right, fair enough. I figured that there might be a receiver out there for the Jets you could still pair him with.
Corey Davis is out there, but
yeah.
I'm going to.
I don't think Corey Davis is going to be the guy that look with Elijah Moore, and now you got Garrett Wilson. I wouldn't. By the way, I saw a really interesting video of a guy breaking down the effort from Galladay. If you run into that, it's worth a watch. Still clear him is all I can say. He's showing like half-ass route runs Not just in practices, but also in the first preseason game.
Mhm.
Is he basically just got his paycheck and doesn't care anymore?
That's what he's insinuating. I don't know if, this guy, I don't know if Gallaudet is just trying to stay healthy because it's preseason, but he's
Not a good
not
look.
showing any kind of separation.
Well, I mean, he was
Yeah,
never like a separation receiver. He was more of a contested catch type.
All right, I've
Contract
got to go
disaster.
receiver here and see what's available. Marvin Jones is still available, and I do have. I don't really like Jones this year though.
Van Jefferson.
I'll go ahead and take Jones. I got someone eyeing for when it comes back down to me. I'm going to grab AJ Green to couple with Kyler Murray because that 6-game suspension for Hopkins
Mhm.
should pay dividends.
Well, I mean, you've already got Ertz and Hollywood. I mean, do you want to triple down on that offense?
Yeah, because that means someone's got to do something.
That's true.
Yeah, it could be Rondale Moore and DeAndre Hopkins.
It won't be for
Well,
the
not for
first
the
6
first 6
weeks.
weeks. Yeah.
Rondale Moore.
Yeah.
No, I know. They definitely got to do
I like-
something.
I like Rondell, but he's just right now at least he's just a gadget receiver.
But I mean, the thing is, by the time DeAndre Hopkins is healthy, the new Call of Duty will be out, and that means Kyler Murray's season's in the drain.
He'll be busy. Yep. Back playing with his phase buddies.
I'm basically just drafting Green for that first month and a half of the season.
Yeah. Did you see that breakdown though?
Yeah, that was funny.
So like basically some guy did a kind of like a game breakdown for Kyler Murray of like how he performs not only pre Call of Duty release and post Call of Duty release, but also on the double XP weekends. Like they were showing that Kyler Murray, his performance dropped off, kind of like the how when James Harden went to a club that like a city that had a lot of strip clubs, that's when he would kind of fall off.
The metric was fantasy points, but it certainly is an interesting thing to look at. I don't think it was. I'm not too worried about it, but who knows? Maybe.
Oh no,
maybe his passion's gaming after all. Who knows? Maybe it's not baseball or football.
No, I mean for me that's just it's all in fun.
I mean, is there something that makes people know that he's a big Call of Duty guy?
That's what he's.
Oh no, he is.
He's
like
during the
very.
off season.
He's very out there. Like he's a huge gamer.
Well, he's a part of that the FaZe clan.
And it's known that he plays Call of Duty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, no, like that. Like it's not completely unbased. Oh, and I just got auto drafted. Noah Fant. Didn't even see that.
Wah wah wah.
I wanted to go Alec Pierce there to get that stack with Matt Ryan, but
well, he's starting on the depth chart for Indy, right? Alec Pierce.
Yeah, right now he is.
Listed as a starter.
I don't hate Noah Fant though as my second tight end, so I'm not complaining too much.
Yeah, that's not bad.
All right, now it's coming back up to me. So let's see. Actually, I got one guy. He's going to be there, and I'm going to take him. I'm taking a lot of late round flyers on Dearness Johnson. Especially like there's so much uncertainty with Kareem Hunt. He's wanting out of Cleveland. And if he's gone, I mean, to me, Dearness Johnson is in the same range as Alexander Madison, as one of those elite backups in a good running offense.
Man, the PR at Cleveland.
Yeah.
You got creepy ass Watson, and then before that, they're the ones that signed Hunt.
Well, it's funny. Hunt requested a trade, and they just straight up told him no. I don't know what their strategy is, if they're going to pay him or what.
Hire like Ray Rice as their general manager. Trevor Bauer doing play-by-play for the Cleveland Browns.
No, actually, I'm gonna.
Where are you going here?
I mean, like I'm looking at. No, I'm gonna pass on Johnson, and I'm going to take a stab at Zay Jones. He's been. I mean, there's going to be targets to go up there. He looked great last night in the in that first game. I mean, he's been a he has never been a guy that's going to command a lot of targets, but he's. I mean, between like a lot like Vegas last year, I forget where he was before that, but I mean, he's consistently showing up, and he always finds a way to carve out a role on it, like whatever team he's at.
So it's coming to me. I've got 3 picks left, right? 16, 17. Yeah. All right. I'm going to go ahead. Who's he got? By week 6. I'm going to go ahead and get my last running back in Marlon Mack. He's probably going to be the goal line guy.
I was debating between Mack and for that last pick.
So now I'm looking at a receiver. I'm going to go out and get a receiver and probably a tight end at the end. Those tight ends are just a crapshoot at this point. If he's there, I'm going to take Duvernay just to piss off the guy that pissed me off.
You assuming he cares?
Yeah. Well, he's got Lamar Jackson, so if he doesn't care, he's doing it wrong.
Oh no, I mean, like Lamar Jackson is a guy I'm completely okay not stacking. I mean, he's got that rushing upside. He creates so much individual value. I mean, him, Hurts, Lance, and even Kyler to some degree. I'm happy taking all those quarterbacks without stacking.
You know what? Instead of that, I'm going to take Levinsky Chenault since I do have
T-Law.
Yeah, I got Lawrence, so what the hell? Why not?
That I just realized there is a guy who doesn't have a quarterback yet.
What?
Yeah, the guy's on the clock right now. 10 receivers, 5 running backs, and a tight end.
Well, he better get, and he's only got 2 rounds left.
Baker, Mayfield, Wentz, and Mariota.
Oh.
And he went Wentz.
Ooh. Thanks for your donation, buddy. All right.
That's me on the clock.
I
I got 2 picks left. I'm going to throw Mo Alley Cox in there just for the stack with Matt Ryan. Yeah, I mean, we're towards the end. It's kind of ugly here. I'm definitely going receiver my last pick, though.
Would you take a stab at Curtis Samuel? High upside with him?
No, because I just realized I only have 4 running backs, so I'm going to get my running back as my last pick.
Oh, yeah, that might be important.
No, I'm like receiver. If I'm looking at this range, my 2 favorite 18th round picks are Randall Cobb and Amari Rodgers. I mean, I'm just trying to get as many pieces of that, as many cheap pieces of that Packers pass attack as I can. But no, I mean, like the guy I'm eyeing right here is Trey Sermon. He's had an electric camp so far, and especially with that injury to Elijah Mitchell, Tyrion Davis-Price he's looked okay, but nothing too special. And he's like Sermon has that 2nd round draft capital from last year, and I think they're really going to want to see what they have in him. Although Darrell Williams he's still sitting there, and that's a great handcuff.
Yeah, that's solid value.
I'm going to go Sermon. I'll leave him for Dave if he wants him. You need another tight end.
Yeah, maybe.
Kyle Rudolph?
I'm probably going to go Brait, but Logan Thomas, they're still saying that he's quite a ways away.
The guy who's up next just picked Wentz, so maybe he may go Thomas. Drew Lock. Wow, he went 1 tight end for his whole team. And it was Tyler Higbee. Wow.
Tight end.
Higbee's fully healthy. He's good to go, right?
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's Tyler Higbee.
Yeah.
Do you
I'll play
really?
it safe and go Cameron Brate.
Yeah.
Well, and if Higby goes down, then he has a big hole in his roster. He won't have a tight end.
Well, he also has a big hole in his pocket because he ain't getting this money back. All right, last pick about to be on. Who's our Mr. Irrelevant?
I think he got auto picked. I don't kick this out. I don't know. All right, so my team looks like this. Let me pull it up. All right, so I've got Murray and Lawrence. Feel okay about my quarterbacks. Something happens to Murray, I'm going to feel less okay. My running backs. This isn't one of my favorite drafts. I didn't do very well at the running backs.
Oh, you didn't.
You know, Pollard, I still think Pollard has upside. I don't have any shares of Spiller. It's the only reason why I drafted him. If something does happen to Eckler, I'd be sitting pretty, but all in all, it's going to be a consistent leaning on Kamara, Pollard, Montgomery, maybe some Herbert, and Mac gets involved. But my receivers are really good. I've got Cup, Brown, and Brown on most weeks. Dobbs, Burks, taking some chances there. I don't know. This isn't one of my better teams. Let me pull up Steven's team. Steven got Carr and Ryan. Your running backs, the depth isn't really there, but you do have Henry and Barkley.
At least one of Sanders or Gainwell should be useful each week.
Yeah.
But you should be pretty good at receiver. Sutton, Robinson,
yeah.
Thomas, Thielen, Renfro,
Mhm.
even maybe
Yeah, I like
Gallup or even Pickens. Tight end.
I like Pickens. Yeah, receiver looks really good on the team.
Yeah, this isn't one of my favorite teams, but I think it's got some potential. Especially considering some of the other entries we've seen in this draft.
Well, the one guy that punted. Do you remember what the name of that team was that punted the?
Yeah, scroll down. Cosmo. You just go up. You just passed him.
Oh, he's got Drew Lock and Carson Wentz. That is awful.
Even his running backs are awful.
Yeah, that's
not a very good team.
Stop the
I like
receivers are
Etienne.
good.
Outside of Etienne, I'm not too high on his team at all.
I mean, his top three receivers you like, but
I mean, he's got Lazard, he has Olave, he's got Claypool, Parker.
I mean, he's the same guy that has one tight end.
I know.
Jeez.
Yeah, like all of those good picks don't matter when you have Carson Wentz, Drew Lock, and Tyler Higbee as almost
Can't
a
possibly need 10 receivers.
This guy was a back-to-backer.
Drafted way too many tight ends there.
Yeah.
No?
You drafted 3 tight ends, and he doesn't have any other quarterbacks with the tight ends. So I don't know why he did that.
Does he have any stack at all?
Jackson and Cousins.
No, he doesn't.
No, he does not. That's really weird to go out there and grab. Of course, I don't know. That's really weird.
I mean, if McCaffrey stays healthy, that's a good team, but that's a big if. So
Yeah, but look at his. Yeah, but his number 3 running back is Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
Then he's got a bunch of guys who are going to share time: Edmonds, Edwards, Benjamin.
Mm-hmm.
This one got auto drafted a couple of times. My God, three quarterbacks and 2 of them play in New York City.
Neither of them are good.
Oh, that team is not good.
No, not at all. That
Yeah,
receiver
like
position
you
is
say,
rough.
you say this now, and then one of these teams is going to finish in the top 3, just because we said that.
It won't be this one.
4
They got
tight ends.
4
Wow.
tight ends.
Yeah, and I like if I'm drafting Mark Andrews, I'm maybe drafting a second. I'm drafting a second tight end, and that's it.
Mhm.
I'm going 3 tight ends if I get them. Like if I get them all from the top, like outside the top 10, I'm spreading my bet. Like I'm hedging my bets a little bit.
You got 6 wide receivers total, 3 quarterbacks, 4 tight ends.
It's definitely a more balanced build. I'm not a fan of it, but I've seen worse than this.
Another one with 3 quarterbacks.
I mean, 3 quarterbacks isn't that necessarily bad. It just depends who your starters are.
That's a fairly well balanced team. I probably would have thrown in another running back, but that looks all right.
Well, I mean that's the thing is that when you
And I
go
guess the reason
quarterbacks
he has 3 tight ends is because one of them is Watson, or 3 quarterbacks. Sorry, is one of them is Watson.
Yeah.
So
Like,
I don't hate this team as much as
I like his tight ends.
mhm.
I like Jefferson, Waddle, MVS, Cooper, Jones. Yeah, it's not a bad team.
That looks decent.
It's not great, but it's not bad.
but one of
Running
his
back's a little bit iffy.
quarterbacks.
He did stack him with Peoples Jones. Oh, and Amari. Okay, this was Cooper. Yes, Amari Cooper too.
All that means is you have Donovan Peoples-Jones out there blocking for Jacoby Brissett all season. Ghost, another one with 3 quarterbacks. Why, if you're gonna grab 3 quarterbacks, why is one of them Mac Jones?
He's the one who stole Jameis from me.
That running back position is ugly.
Way
7
too
running
many
backs?
running backs.
Yeah, no,
You got
that's
7 running backs and 5 receivers.
the opposite of the
hurt.
ideal underdog build.
Well, the top 4 in his receiver position look great. That's fine. The rest of the team's terrible though.
Yeah. Well, we got the Mac Jones stack with Hunter Henry.
Yeah. Oh, the quarterback position's fine. Quarterback and his top 4 receivers, that's good. Everything.
He's got a lot of
He's got
This
a
is-
solid team because his receivers are stacked.
yeah, but this is a 0 running back team if I've ever seen one.
Mm-hmm. That's the concern.
Well, that's true. The running back, he's just hoping one of them has a big week each week.
Yeah.
And he handcuffed Robinson with Gibson, so I don't hate that.
No, I mean, this is actually a good team.
But if you're not going to have Alvin Kamara, I don't know if I want Mark Ingram.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, the original thinking on drafting Mark Ingram was that Kamara was going to be out for those first few games, and you had an instant starter in Mark Ingram going at the 17th, 18th round. But with
I like
Kamara
his
healthy-
receivers, though. Diggs, Pittman, Williams, Godwin, St. Brown. He got St. Brown with some good value there.
I really like Godwin and where he's going.
He's done what I like. His team is what I've done a lot in drafts is get Herbert, Williams, and then add in Palmer to complete the stack.
I've got Najee and Delvin.
Now this guy goes out and gets Stafford, Tua, and Ryan Tannehill.
Okay.
If
Good
he-
running back. Good top 2 running backs.
He's probably got Robert Woods.
McLaurin, Cooks, Ayuk, Smith. Chris.
McLaurin.
That's not bad. And Pitts. That's a good team.
Yeah. I like Hayden Hurst there too.
Well, his running backs are really good. I mean, and I
Yeah.
like the fact that he's got the depth because if something does happen to Cook, you got Madison. to
Yeah.
fill in.
Even his receivers.
Yeah, that's a good team.
Like that's a very good receiving core.
Sure,
That's a good team.
It's a wasted pick, but
This is going to be a team to watch out for.
Mm-hmm.
Meek.
Let's go. Let's see Meek. Zeke and CEH. I don't like either of those.
Lamb and Adams.
Yeah, he's got Lamb, Adams. Took a stab at Moore.
It's all right at receiver.
He's got good tight ends, good air, and Gasecki.
How are you feeling on Wandale Robinson? I just
Mm.
saw him.
Man, I'm a bad person to ask because I listen to too much New York City radio, and they're in love with him.
Hmm.
But there's only one ball in New York, as far as I know.
Well, 2. So you have the Jets.
Well, but I'm talking about, so you're going to try to get some carries with Barkley, obviously. So then you're looking at Galladay, Robinson, and then of course the kid from Florida, Tony.
And Sterling Shepard, like when he comes back.
Of course, yeah, and Shepard as well. I don't know. Wan'Dale Robinson might be the guy, to be honest with you.
Maybe like
I feel like I see a skewed version because I'm always listening to them and they're like, oh man, look out for Wan'Dale Robinson. He caught a 5-yard screen pass in practice today.
And took it 6 yards.
Nope. There was no defense on the field, but he looked really sharp.
He didn't tear his
I'll tell you
ACL.
who looked sharp is Trey Lance, man. Trey Lance looked good
Yeah.
last night. I think that was all the teams. I may not have done J-Rob. Did we do? No, we didn't do J-Rob. Okay.
No, this is
Okay, if
what
you've
is
got
doing?
Mahomes and Wilson, there's no need to grab Fields.
3
Well-
running backs.
Wow, 3 running backs. You're done. And one of them is J.D. McKissick.
10 wide receivers. Why on earth?
And he's got your favorite receiver as his number one.
Oh man.
If you're gonna
That's
do
rough.
that, then why in God's name didn't you draft Baker Mayfield?
I know.
If you're
That's
gonna
ugly.
do 3 quarterbacks,
Just because he's sitting here though, this is the year DJ Moore's taking off. You got a feeling.
He just burned $5.
His first pick was Kelsey. Who was his next pick? Joe Mixon. That started off good.
Yeah.
Then it went James
I like
Conner
Mixon.
And DJ Moore.
and Moore.
It's actually not a bad start at all.
It's not
Then
a
he
bad
went-
team. It's
and then
just
it went
how
off
it's
the rails.
set up.
That's when he went to Bateman.
Which I
Mhm.
like.
Not if I don't have damn Lamar Jackson.
It's not. He doesn't have bad players. It's just how the team's structured. That's the problem.
At
3
that
running
same
backs isn't
time
gonna
when
win
he's
you the league.
taking Bateman, he probably could have gotten Juju.
Or a
No,
running back.
no, Bateman's been going after Juju at almost every single draft.
Let's look at this. See what these chuckleheads did.
They should have used the Bateman pick on a running back. That's what they should have done.
We get a little bit of an excuse because we're over here trying to do a live show and talk through the entire thing. Most of these guys are drafting on the toilet. Where's the guy that we were just talking? Kelsey, Mixon, Moore, okay, he took Connor. I missed that part. And where did Juju go?
53.
53. Okay,
Yeah, he was gone a full round and a half before.
yeah. I'm not a big fan of Bateman just because Bateman has basically just turned into
That's not
Marquise
true.
Brown.
Nope. They are such completely different receivers.
I'm talking about their opportunities. And there's going to be games where you're going to be like, is he hurt? What happened? Where is he?
But no, I mean, I'm saying that as in Hollywood is a more of a deep threat, and he wasn't more of a possession receiver. I think Bateman's just a better receiver in general, which is going to lead
Do you
to.
think he's going to put up more yards, more points than Brown? Because unless something happens to Andrews, I have a hard time believing it.
I mean, I'm betting on the talent there. I mean, Hollywood's good, but Bateman just offers a different and better skill set, in my opinion,
I don't know why
that fits the offense more.
I don't know why the Ravens just don't abandon the wide receiver and just go nothing but tight end sets and just draft the hell out of the athletic tight ends and hope. And
Well, they got some good tight ends. They drafted Likely from some I forget what college it was.
Just
North
about to say
Carolina,
that.
right?
I mean, like there's.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know why they don't just abandon the wide. Well, they have essentially abandoned the wide receiver, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not buying the Bateman high unless I've got Jackson. But the problem is, if I've got Jackson, I've probably already drafted Andrews, and I don't know if I
Andrews,
want
yeah.
3 Ravens.
No, I don't.
That's a lot of eggs to have in a basket.
Mhm.
There just isn't the volume to go around to support all 3 of them, like 2 pass catchers at their price range.
Man, I'll tell you what, that Zach Wilson injury looked bad.
Mm-hmm.
He looked like I did that one time I stubbed my toe on the couch and broke my toe where he just gave up and fell over. I was like, oh man, it's over. What is y'all's walk off for the day? Bobby, start with you.
I guess with the next couple preseason games, enjoy it. If your team was a big player in last year's draft, pay attention to it and see how your guys do, and hope for the best.
Steven, what you got?
Whatever you do not draft David Montgomery.
I could use that advice about an hour ago.
I told you an hour ago.
I didn't have any other choice, but I kind of punted. I stacked up on the receivers and I kind of punted. We need to name this draft so we're paying attention to it all year. But what's that jackass with no running backs ends up winning the thing somehow?
I can see it.
My walk-off is we got 3 weeks till fantasy football draft weekend, 2 weeks till college football begins. And by next week, we should get a better idea on some of these guys. Next week, we'll do another draft, and we'll talk running backs next week because I forgot to send that out to y'all. So we'll do that next week. Get our I'm going to go ahead and do it now so y'all know to do it. Send me your top 15 running backs, and then we'll debate them next.
I think we've already done running backs, no?
Nope. Receivers is
Oh, we have?
last.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys.
Are you sure?
We'll see y'all next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
All right. Have a good one.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see y'all on the next show. Same bat time, same bat channel. Thanks for listening to the Armchair Quarterback on the CBS Sports Affiliates. Catching the show on YouTube Live. The Armchair Quarterbacks bring you Braves Country Baseball every Tuesday and Friday night. Play-by-play with Mac McGee. Find Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live today. Please subscribe and share and take us everywhere you go. Armchair Quarterbacks.